Down 2-0. Time is running out. But could this be where the Wild come alive? In the first round, they came back from 3-1 to defeat Colorado in 7. Then in round 2, Minnesota repeated the improbable to conquer Vancouver. Tonight, the Wild must muster up some magic to make one more Cinderella run. But in their way, one of hockey's hottest goaltenders ever, J.S. Jaguar. Game 3 next. Exclusive coverage of the Stanley Cup playoffs, Western Conference Final. The Wild Wing is on the ice, and so are the Ducks. Welcome to the pond, everybody. This is Game 3. The Ducks come home winning the first 2 games in Minnesota. Hello, everybody. I'm Gary Thorne along with Bill Clement. It is still jiggy. That is still what it is all about. No matter what you say in the end, Bill, it comes back to number 1.
It absolutely does, and it's probably worth reminding the world, in case you've forgotten, that this still is the first playoff season ever for J.S. Jaguar. We talk about athletes being in the zone. This man is in the O-zone because that is where the stratosphere is. Now, make no mistake about it. I think the Wild will score some goals on, and the question is, can they get enough before they run out of time in the series?
Jacques Lemaire has decided to make some changes. He's got to get a little muscle in there to get into Jaguar's head if he can.
Well, it's funny. After Game 1, Jacques Lemaire said, this will not be a muscle series. I don't need my muscle guys. After Game 2, he said, we got to get into the paint. There's Jim Dowd. He's back in the lineup. And Matt Johnson at 6'5", 235 is back in. Jacques Lemaire said after Game 2, we got to get the puck into the paint. We got to get into the paint, and that's how we're going to score.
Maybe a little more physical here in Game 3. But for Steve Ruchin on the top line with the Ducks, it's looking back because we're up 2-0.
In Anaheim, where these fans have been waiting to reward their team for 2 huge victories on the road in Minnesota. The story here has been John Sebastian Jaguar in the playoffs, 2 shutout victories in Minnesota. Even his own teammates say in practice they can't score on him. They wait for the games to score goals. He's got the Minnesota players double clutching and rethinking what they can do. You can't score on this guy down low. The butterfly style takes away everything. Even when there's a crowd around him, his defensemen have been outstanding, and he's been able to shut it down. And here comes the Mighty Ducks of Anaheim. For 9 years, and he's never seen the fans like this anytime.
Time where the Mighty Ducks tonight have a chance to go up 3-0 in this series as J.S. Jaguar gets set in net. He has played in all of their games. He has posed the problem for Wild coach Jacques Lemaire of now what do I do?
Well, scoring first obviously would be monumental for the Minnesota Wild. First of all, it would mean they got one by Jaguar, but secondarily, Jacques Lemaire admits his team is different when they have the lead. They are better when they have the lead. They are faster. They play with more confidence. On the other side, Mike Babcock, the head coach of the Mighty Ducks of Anaheim, his team is simply 7-0 in the playoffs when they score first. How big will the first goal be? Huge.
Babcock trying to become the 7th first-year coach to win a Stanley Cup in his first season. The Minnesota Wild, last 3 games against Vancouver, shots and goals all over the place. Last 2, nothing against this J.S. Jaguar Anaheim defense. We are underway here in Game 3. Came back to Willie Mitchell. We'll see a couple of changes in the lineup tonight with Bill McCall, Brad Brown, and Lubor Zaskara out of the lineup for the Minnesota Wild. Sakarosh out of there. So we're going to get some of the bigger guys in. The point being, can you get to Jaguar, get the puck to the front, somehow find a rebound?
Well, you may be able to score goals on him, but you will not get them by hoping that he falls apart. Technically, I mean, it's been years since we've been able to look at anybody that has been as technically sound as J.S. Jaguar. He's got a great foundation, not only in technique, but emotionally. And if you're trying to open up some kind of wound, the Dallas Stars thought they did that when they chased him in one game in their series. He came back and got him in the next one. You can't rattle this guy, at least not yet.
Face-off one by the Wild. Sikora intercepted. Paul Correa's shot gets blocked into the corner. Dumped around the boards. Wild in their road green. The white of the Ducks here at home. Chased on the near side, Paul Correa got it back. Cleared around by Ruslan Saleh. Held in on the far side, Nick Schultz. Schultz came up in the D to pinch. Centering pass to him. Schultz shot. That got deflected behind the net and up and into the netting. Now that's what they want to do. And there's one of the guys in the lineup to do it. Down front. They got Johnson where they want him, and he did deflect the chance.
You bet. If Matt Johnson can park himself close to the paint at 6'5" and 235, I'm not sure that anybody would bother trying to move him, but even if they did, they wouldn't be able to. There's Johnson in front, getting out in front of Ozolinsh. It's really funny. Jacques Lemaire said after game 1, this isn't going to be a muscle series. I don't need my big guys. After game 2, he said, we've got to get the puck into the paint. We've got to get people into the paint. That's where we need to score from.
Face-off won by Dowd. The advantage in draws has gone to Anaheim, 83-55 coming in to this game through the first 2. Big face-off advantage for the Ducks. Centering pass shot down low. Jaguar's got the glove up and hangs on, but you saw Jim Dowd, another inserted to get the puck down low, actually get below the hash marks for a chance.
Well, sat upstairs with some of the Minnesota coaching staff watching the Mighty Ducks skate this morning, and they all said the same thing. Look where they're scoring on Giguère. High to the stick side, high to the short side. Well, Jim Dowd tried to go high to the short side, but it was a butterfly end over end that Giguère was able to grab. Hey, listen, it's easy to say, go high to the short side. How much time do you have to get that shot off at this stage of the hockey season? Nobody has that much time.
Not very much. Off the draw again, the Wild will win it into the corner. Dupuis, Pascal Dupuis gets tied up by Ruslan Saleh. Takes him against the boards. The jam up, puck freed up into the corner. Looking, Jason Crow cleared it into the middle. Bounced off the wall. Smirnoff was trying to move it up ice. Alexei Smirnoff just his 3rd playoff game. Again, down the middle, Giguère reaching out on Zuzan, who was cutting. Joltok, who's had a lot of chances. Look at the people in front of the net. Shot, deflected save, rebound goes out. Right there in that shift, the Wild had more people in front of the net than they did in the first 2 games combined. They had 3 guys within touch distance with a stick of Giguère.
You bet. And that's kind of rolling the dice as well, because you've got 3 guys really deep, but the Mighty Ducks of Anaheim are so good defensively, positionally, that you can't have a 3rd forward open. They're almost never open. So you might as well just, even from a sharp angle like Joltok did here, drive it on goal and hope that one of your guys can get a stick on it. The ugly goals are going to be beautiful if they can get them.
Joltok has had a lot of chances. He has gotten down low, gotten some pretty good wrist shots on. He leads everybody in assists with 11 this playoff year. That one deflected on the gun in. Wes Wall's line out there. Walls will go to the front of the net. Cliff Ronning is now in behind it, turned by Marian Gaborik. Gaborik, Walls, and Ronning on this line.
Oh, Gaborik looks like he's brought his dancing shoes. His first shift, he was banging the stick on the ice. Every time one of his teammates had the puck, he said, give it to me, give it to me.
He's the one that they are looking for to score. He still leads all playoff scores, but it has not come in this series. He has been shut down so far. Third to the near side. Ducks looking to move it out. Nicholas Havlet cleared. Ronning moves it right back. Ronning looking to the front for Park. Shot in off the blocker. Giguère kicked that one out. Giguère will help move the puck out of the zone by deflecting those shots for deep rebounds. Kuba takes it around the far side. Philippe Kuba, over 27 minutes a game in the playoffs, leads all Wild players at ice time. Back comes Saleh. Saleh got it around the far side. Peter Sikora to Oates. Oates, Sikora, and Paul Correa on this line. Down the middle, the centering pass deflected. Kuba's got it. Saleh joined the offensive flow that time for the Mighty Ducks. 2-on-2 the other way. Looking far side boards was Kuba. Couldn't get it to anybody. It'll be sent by Hendrickson back behind the net. Moved it around the near side boards. They do not connect. The Ducks be able to get the easy out. Paul Correa came up the near side boards. He lost that. Hendrickson set it right back in onside. Chance shot up high and over the net. Here, Marc Bouchard. That ended up being a breakaway, but he did not get it on net.
But here's a kid that turned 19 just a couple of weeks ago, and he had the presence of mind because he is such an offensively skilled player. Get the puck airborne. Don't try to beat Giguère low.
Jacques Lemaire said this morning of Bouchard, he is a finesse player. He's going to be a star. We want to get him in games where he has a chance to succeed. That will make him a better player. He's got him in there tonight.
Only the 4th NHL playoff game of his life. I mean, played all season during the regular season as an 18-year-old. That's the play. He just missed it by a hair. Reverse angle look at it. The smart players and the great skill players, if they have time, and he had time, will go there high if they can.
7-goal scorer during the regular season. Cleared back for Thomas in the middle. Could not connect on it. Thomas with Paulson on the far side for the Ducks. Paulson moves it in. Paulson wanted to center. Trying to wrap around. Chance it gets blocked into the corner. Galtok reached up. Got a stick on it. Cleared back for Paulson. Taken away and moved out of the zone by Laxinen. Back for Laxinen off the near side wing. He couldn't catch up to it. Still no. Came outside the zone. Paulson back up for Thomas. This playoff year, the player still leads the Mighty Ducks with 7 points. Can you believe that? Your leading scorer has got 7 points, and you are 10-2 in the playoffs.
Balance, baby, balance.
Balance. So I was joking with you about that before the game. Said you want balance. Take a look at this series in the offense of the Wild. Totally balanced.
All zeros.
There's not one thing up there. Oh, it's a shot. Save made. Rollison in net at a blocked apple. Rollison, the 33-year-old, getting back 2 consecutive games now after Manny Fernandez had started and lost in game 1. Ronning drops it back. Good forecheck work here. Sikora's line pinned him in. Moved back by the Wild. Ronning tip pass. Gaborik couldn't control it at the line. Stick rolls away at center. Ronning tries to go wide side. Carney was there to cut off anybody getting through the lane.
And Gary Jacques Lemaire is making up for the little ice time he gave Gaborik in the 3rd period of game 2. I think this is about his 5th shift.
Mike Leclerc reached back. Shot save made. Rollison empty net. Score! Ruchin!
The man that is supposed to be out there in a checking role can really do it all. His name is Steve Ruchin. And you can imagine that if he were up to bat, he'd just drift a line drive out into center field. He picked that one out of midair with a player standing between him and the puck. Watch it from our Southwest Airlines goal cam. Philippe Kuba was screening him, and he still got to it before it hit the ice. What a play by Steve Ruchin.
They just get it done. A 1-0 lead. They are 7-0 in games where they score first. Steve Ruchin has given them a 1-goal lead. After the effort by the Wild to try and storm the net early on in this game and pick up a goal, it ends up the Ducks just play defense and then come back and get it. So the Ducks on top 1-0, and they get it done on their 3rd shot of the game. They're being outshot 5-3. Darby Hendrickson dumps it in behind the net. Down, Wisnowski tried to play it, could not, came back into the middle, poke checked away, Paul Correa was there to help. 3-on-2 for the moment. Oates up. Oates has got Correa. Sikora moving it. Adam Oates. Oates dropped it. Shot. Save. Paul Correa gets leveled, but he got a chance.
Oh, Willie Mitchell's got to be careful. He dodges a bullet here by not getting a minor penalty. But he took a shot at Paul Correa when he was down, and I'll tell you what a thankless job Dwayne Rollison has. Adam Oates waited. Kind of a set play. He looks like he's going behind the net, then he fed it out to Paul Correa. Once he went down, Willie Mitchell said, yeah, I'm going to finish him, baby. Finish him, Willie, but don't end up with a penalty. A 1-0 lead can be overcome. Well, it hasn't, not so far, but a 2-0 lead is a major difficulty.
7-0 when they get the first goal. As you saw, the shot just deflected high. Rollison grabbed on to Jason Krog, who was standing in the paint with him, put him in a little headlock for a minute. Up the far side boards. Still controlled by the Ducks. Down low, Wisniewski came over to help. Cleared back up the wall. Krog is out there. Smirnoff with him, sent behind the net. That'll be knocked away again. Unable to clear it out. Rollison held it along the board. Smirnoff centering passes loose. Covered before Bilesma could get to it. But it's the Ducks creating havoc in the paint.
To leave a voice message, press 1 or wait for the tone.
I think I need my car back. I have to go to a meeting.
Okay, Daddy, I'll be home in 10 minutes.
Okay.
Life's good when you're George Lopez. But life's better when you're George Lopez and you have the cell phone with a walkie-talkie. Get right through.
NHL Gamecast live scoring, shot charts, game stats, the best way to follow every Stanley Cup playoff game. You can get it at ESPN.com, NHL.com. That's NHL Gamecast, and that's our Skycam taking those shots from overhead.
It's a nifty machine suspended by a bunch of cables. We're going to be able to show you some neat stuff with it.
only goal to be scored in the first period of this series. A mix-up. Gaborik in alone. Gaborik. Oh, what difference does it make? It's Giguère. A complete breakaway. Gaborik had nobody near him. And Giguère makes another play and made it look easy.
And you know what? Keith Carney and Ruslan Saleh don't play all that much together. It's usually Nick Havlat with Carney. A beautiful face-off win, and they said, I'll get it, you get it. Uh-oh, one of us take it. Marian Gaborik was away. Nobody could touch him. He decided to shoot where? Low. And you know what? It didn't even look like it was close to the post. It looked like he shot off his skate. I will give Giguère full credit for the save. Here it is from our sky cam. I don't know if anybody in the playoffs has beat Giguère low. I'm sorry.
Or beat Giguère, period.
Yeah.
Goal coming at 4:59. Ruchin's first of this series, his fourth of the playoffs. Leclerc and Niedermayer have the assists. Leclerc continues to play some spectacular hockey. He has been out there assisting on virtually every overtime goal. He has been out there in every overtime goal they've picked up. And he's got another assist there. Paulson save made, and was that blasted. We've got a penalty coming up behind the play. Art Jonette and Dan Marawelli are our officials. Tim Nowak and Dan Shakti working the lines.
Boy, Ruslan Saleh might not want to save this shift for the archives. First of all, he was involved in the mix-up with Keith Carney. Then he got the stick up right into the yap of Matt Johnson. Johnson's 6'5", so you got to pretty well assume that it was a high stick if you hit him in the face.
Well, let's see if somebody can score a power play goal. Soleil's out of there at 6:48 for high sticking. Regular season and playoffs. Neither of these teams has scored a power play goal against the other. First opportunity here goes to the Wild. They are down 1-0 in this game. Dumped in around the far side boards. Looking to center, couldn't get it out. Bilesma got it, and it's cleared out of the zone. And Bilesma out there, a penalty killing unit expert, his third game. He's getting some work. Alexei Smirnov in his third game. Both of them playing in this series after not being involved in the previous series this year.
Like two big plays by Bilesma, first on the far side and then with that intercept.
A Wild 0 for 8 in this series on the power play. Played behind the net by Giguère. Did not hit it hard enough to move it out. And they will set up in front of the net. Big battle going on with Zoltok down low, but no chance to get the puck there. Kubel will chase it down. Paulson was with him. Played back to Ronning. Ronning's working a point on the power play. Wild change up, a minute left on the advantage. Ronning moves it in. Fakes. Dropped it off into the middle. D trailing. They go back out onto the point. They don't want to shoot. Look at the chance. A shot. Giguère's lost his stick. Still able to get the body in front of it. Back up onto the point. Ronning's on that offside. Parks in front of the net here. Bounce back to the point. It'll roll back out the center.
What a break, because that gives Giguère a chance to turn around, bend over, and pick up the twig.
Down to 37 left to go on the power play. Susan, he'll send it in. Off the far side boards. Carney trying to move it up. Bouchard was right in his back. Still in the zone, but not for long. This penalty killing unit of the Mighty Ducks, fantastic. That one's forced to be rolled in on his own goaltender. Susan did, in order to get a cover, because Ruchin was right there with him.
There's Robbie Niedermayer. He decided to drive the net and get the whistle. We talk about Giguère's technique. Part of it is his ability to shovel or shove off with one edge, and then to stop where he wants to. He had to shove to his right, then to his left. Mind you, the stick was on the ice behind him the whole time, but he just is rarely out of position.
That'll be cleared back behind the net. 18 seconds left to go on the Wild. The power play opportunity. That was Ruchin who partially deflected that. Nick Schultz, the 20-year-old's out there on the power play unit. Kuba will send that one in on the hard around. Only 8 seconds left to go on the power play. Soleil cleared it up the point, not out. Schultz held it in, takes the shot. That gets deflected by Ruchin. So far, it's Steve Ruchin's show here in the first period. Scored the goal, blocked shots, centering past Giguère there, deflected it once, got run into. Players went by, but the power play's over. And the Wild do not convert, and they get only one shot. The penalty kill of the Ducks has now given up one power play goal in the last 20 chances here in the playoffs. It's Dupuis. Had it behind the net, centering pass back to him, cleared around. Not out of the zone. Point chance. Mitchell got blocked. That'll come all the way back to the point. Billy Mitchell has got one goal in the playoff year. Sent it back into the corner. You see the help that Giguère gets in front. That puck never got through to him. Correa comes the other way. Sikora leaves it, but offside. It's Dupuis. Had it behind the net, centering pass back to him, cleared around. Not out of the zone. Point chance. Mitchell got blocked. That'll come all the way back to the point. Billy Mitchell has got one goal in the playoff year. Sent it back into the corner. You see the help that Giguère gets in front. That puck never got through to him. Correa comes the other way. Sikora leaves it, but offside. Want to remind you, got some great action to be coming your way. Stanley Cup playoff action will continue. That'll be on ESPN at 7 Eastern tomorrow night. It'll be the Devils taking on Ottawa. That series tied at 1-1. Then the NBA playoffs on ESPN. That will be at 10:30. The Mavericks and the Kings. Dallas leading at 3-2. All coming up tomorrow night.
Paul Kariya just leaving the ice. He had one of his best games of the playoffs in Game 2. And when I talked to his coach about it this morning, he said, you bet he did. You know why? He drove up the pace of the game. And he does that with his skating.
Speed of the Ducks continues to be one of the vital factors in their success story and in this playoff year.
And it was the big part of Minnesota's success story. I mean, that's why both of these teams say it's like playing ourselves.
Yep. They're back up to the point. Bounced away into the middle. 2-on-2. Henderson able to move it out. Henderson goes to the front of the net. Shot on. Deflected again into the corner. As that one got blocked by Sandis Ozolinsh, who was out there. Ozolinsh deflected in front of his own netminder. Covered, though, by Jaguar. 9:59 left, first period. The first goal up on the board. Again goes to the Ducks. The playoffs on ESPN presented by...
Olsen said this morning that this series has been a bit of a change-up for them, and they're fastball hitters. In other words, it hasn't been a physical series, and they haven't been pressured all over the ice like there were against Colorado and Vancouver. They weren't sure if they could beat those guys. They think they can beat the Ducks, but now they're underdogs again, guys. Maybe that's good.
Maybe, except it's Jaguar. And unless you get a goal, you can't win a game.
They haven't faced anybody like Jaguar yet in the playoffs.
Keep in mind, Jaguar's got a streak going here as no goals have been scored to this point by the Wild against Jaguar. They are down 1-0 here. He came in over 146 minutes of shutout time against Minnesota and over 153 minutes of shutout time total. So he's got the streak still going. They are offside. Faceoff will come back to center. Number 1 in goals against, 1-3-2. Number 1 in save percentage, 9-5-6.
You know, I asked him this morning if he had a book on players. He said, that's funny. He said, Francois Allaire always says to me, don't assume. In other words, he's got a book on a guy like Marian Gaborik would rather shoot than pass. But if you say, look, he likes to go high to the stick side, and you're thinking that when you go to make the save, that's a mistake. So he says, when I look at Gaborik, I think expect the shot, but don't assume anything more than that.
Gaborik has had 1 assist in the last 4 games. It tells you what a great start he got, that despite that, he is still the leader in scorers in the playoffs. Wild with the puck. Shots are even 7-7. 9:10 left to go here in the first. Sent back deeper into the zone and gunned out the center. Nick Hovland has had a fantastic playoff year right there again to get rid of it. Susan dropped it in the middle. Bad pass. Intercepted Kariya. Kariya moving it up. Kuba gets the stick in on him. Centering pass. Deflected right into the dot and moved out by Susan.
And that's what Mike Babcock wants Paul Kariya to do. Use his speed, and if he can't get a good shot away, drive wide at least. Open things up. Force him to drag you down.
Ahead for Paulson. It got deflected back. He will take it back deep. Ozolinsh out there defensively. They come through the middle. The Ducks are changing up. Paulson moves it in. Looking into the middle. His shot blocked by Mitchell to the far side. Cheestop left it for Thomas. Thomas racing to the wall. Got held up a little bit. Still reaches in. Deflected. Mitchell trying to move it up and out of the zone. Got it there. Chased down the near side boards by Andrew Brunette. Brunette got hit by Soleil. Sauer got the puck. Cleared it around the dasher. Thought it had gone up high enough to hit the net. It did not. Cheestop with a 3-on-2. 3-on-2 still. Cheestop leads it for Thomas. Broken up. Back checking. Good play by Schultz, who got back on that. Thomas a chance. Save made. Rebound goes to the wide side off Cheestop's stick.
Boy, I'm surprised Cheestop didn't try to beat the guy he was lined up with. That was Jim Dowd that came on the ice and had to cover as a defenseman. I'm not sure Cheestop knew it was Dowd or forward.
Cheestop trying to hold the puck up because his team was changing. He didn't have anybody on the ice with him. Keith Carney moves it in. His shot gloved by Rolison. And he will hang on. A little pushing and shoving to protect the netminder.
We talked about Paul Kariya in Game 2 driving up the pace here tonight. He's ready to drive again. Great skater. I mean, one of the best skaters in the game. And if you take a guy like Philip Kuba to the corner and can also get the puck to the front, there's just not as much traffic and coverage there for your guys if they can get a swipe at it.
All of his NHL hockey days have been spent here. And right now, no points last 3 games for Paul Kariya, but that has not meant that the Ducks aren't going to win it, because obviously they've won those 3 and more. Cleared back down the near side boards, raced for it. Claire came up, got some help. Ronning was the man right behind him. Play by Nick Hovland, who came back to join the chase. Havlat cleared it around the far side. Gaborik moved over. He took it away from Ruchin. Dropped back near side. Couple of forecheckers up for the Wild. Gaborik moves in again from the other side. Play forced to the point. Zuzin can't hold it in. Knocked away to center. Wes Walz will leave it back. Walz has picked up 7 goals and 6 assists. He's second on the club in playoff scoring behind Gaborik. But Walz has also been shut down of late. He's picked up only a goal and an assist in the last 4 games. Tonight, ESPN2's Major League Baseball doubleheader will continue at 10 Eastern. Sheffield and the Dodgers face off against Brian Jordan, Sean Green, and that's coming up for you tonight. Some will see Florida, San Diego. Wednesday Night Baseball, it's on ESPN2.
There's Nick Havlat. I think if I had to pick an unsung hero so far in the mighty Ducks drive, it would be Nicholas Havlat. Doesn't get much puck. Keith Carney's getting most of it, but Havlat is at least 50% of that defensive pairing that they've matched against the best on the other team.
He has been spectacular, playing at a +1, a couple of assists, but his job is to play D. Would have been offside if brought into the zone, and it was, and that will be whistled. Good try to hold it out of the zone, couldn't do it.
What's underrated about Havlat, not only his skating, but his puck handling abilities. He just was pinned in the corner moments ago by 2 Wild players, and he played them both. He faked one way, froze one guy, faked another way, froze the other guy, and just stepped out from in between them. So, great puck skills and a great skater, and that is why he can play good defensive hockey.
The steadiness of the Mighty Ducks of Anaheim just continues to prevail. Off the face-off draw, sent in by Kuba from center. Hendrickson won the draw. Cleared around the boards. Pretty good shot of Wisniewski from behind. Just missed a penalty there. Wisniewski picks it up in the poke check that came right over to him. And it's free at center. Wild get it back. Again, unable to move it in. Paulson, Cheestop stole it. Paulson for Cheestop, blocked into the corner. Coming over to help Cheestop. Cheestop gets from one point of the ice to another about as quickly as anyone in the league. Thomas a shot, gloved down by Rolison. Rolison, who had a 186 goals against at home, 3rd best goals against at home during the regular season. But the Ducks have already been able to pick up a goal here in this game on the road. See whether or not the numbers move up on him in road games. Shot in, save made Jaguar. That just flipped in by Zuzin from the point and tipped away again. Still here in this first period, we are not seeing any rebound chances. There were a couple in the first 3 minutes of the period.
But as we explained in game 2, Gary, it's one thing to generate the rebound. It's another thing to have such perfect timing that you've got a teammate there for him.
Yep. That one will be deflected and rolled back in. Paul Correa looking into the middle. Correa stops, shot, blocked into the corner. Centering pass. Intercepted. Kuba trying to move it out. Correa holds it in. Shot blocked again. That's twice the shot is the defenseman standing right in front of him. Now the Wild want to make a line change. Move near side for Peter Sikora. Sikora dropped it. Ozolin open. Chance. Save. Rebound. Shot deflected off Ronning. And there was an empty net. Ronning leaves it near side. Marian Gaborik, puck went behind him. Gaborik returns to the middle. Both teams making line changes here. Down low, Walz. Gaborik's in the corner. Ronning's in front of the net. The shot deflected. Jaguar straight up in the air. Walz centers. Gaborik backhander. That comes to the near side. Jaguar may have gotten a piece of that, but he had some other D in front of him as well. Niedermayer cuts into the middle. Leclerc. Chance. Glove. Save. Pretty good shot right there by Mike Leclerc. You can bet these guys really aren't fans of those teams, but that's a pretty good statement, isn't it?
They're poking a little fun at the first round casualties, the Detroit Red Wings, the St. Louis Blues, and the Boston Bruins.
Oates moves in to take the draw. Adam Oates, 58% face-off wins, another one there. Clean. Havlat got the shot, but it went wide. Schultz moved it up and out of the zone. Havlat back with Carney on D. The Ducks have to get back on side. Correa got swept off the puck, shot in off the blocker. Pascal Dupree had the opportunity from the blue line. Pretty good chance. Got it up high. But again, Jaguar was there and put the blocker on it and directed it into the corner. Move back, Zoltak, chance, save, and that got through a screen. And there set the rebound, and there were the Ducks to clear.
Havlat just face-to-face with his man, gave him a shove, turned around, and torqued the puck up the boards.
Even when there is a rebound, you got to be able to get to it to create a chance, and guys like Havlat not let that happen. Want to remind you, coming up, our Southwest Airlines intermission report. John Barry and Ray are standing by. Redden, ready or not? Big question. Hidden injuries, a knife level at the pond. That's all coming up.
I do like what the Wild are doing in this hockey game. Anytime they get the puck with the screen, they're just drifting it at J.S. Giguère. I mean, at some point, something will bounce off somebody and bounce in. The question is when, and can they get enough like that?
Thomas cutting to the net. Jason Crow got it into him. Thomas, what a play to keep that puck loose, and he avoided the check through all of that. Back for Thomas in the corner from Paulson. Thomas reverses for Paulson. Lost it. Cleared back through center ice. Bouchard. Bouchard dropped that one off into the corner. Brunette goes to the net. Wisniewski's right there with him. The centering pass shot, and that's blocked again by Soleil. Ruslan Soleil. Block shots is no longer a stat kept officially in the NHL for public purposes. It's kept privately for the teams. If they'd have kept them here, it'd have been a lot of them.
Soleil would definitely get one on this one. Jim Dowd was the man that took the shot. You see Giguère comes out of the paint if he knows. I mean, Giguère to his left down low could see two players, two attackers, and he knew Dowd was the third attacker. He's very, very smart as far as reading the play and knowing how far out he can come based on where everybody is.
Walls won the face-off. Marian Gaborik lost it to Keith Carney. Carney has been out there for the Ducks defensively against Gaborik. Coming into this game, he'd been on 58 of 65 of Gaborik's shifts. And if he can get there, he does. Carney's right there behind the net to play it. Keith Carney turned it from behind the net. They're sending people at center right there. Niedermeyer tried to sneak up ice a little bit. Susan took it away from him. Kuba puts the hit on. Niedermeyer gets it back. Goes back onto the point. Carney just fanned on that. They'll wave off any icing here. It's got to be played. Giguère came back to get it and leaves it behind the net. 2:52 left to go in the first. Shots are 12-11 in favor of the Wild. But the Ducks, as usual, have the one-goal lead. The fact they have been outshot is nothing for them. They've not outshot an opponent this playoff year. Save deflected to the near side again. A penalty coming up. Laxonen took the shot. Save made Giguère, and then he got hauled down.
Havlin, the guilty party.
Anaheim, 2 minutes for hooking.
And to the sin bin he goes. When Giguère put the puck in the corner, Laxonen went at it after it, and when he was stopping, it's funny. Watch this hook. See, because Laxonen was actually coming to a real steep stop, he was leaning, and it doesn't take much of a hook to pull a guy down when he's in that position.
This is where the Wild absolutely positively must get something started. And if it's giving up a short-handed goal again, they're going to be toast. Moved into the zone by Ruchin, deflected back. Second power play of the game, 17:35, Havel it out. No power play goals combined, 35 chances for these two teams, and they have gone head-to-head. The Wild are already 0 for 1 in this game tonight. In this series, the teams are 0 for 13 combined on the power play. The Ducks, of course, don't care about that. They don't live and die by the power play. They do on their penalty kill. Kuba takes it back in behind the net. Bilesma was up on the check. Both teams will change up with 1:19 left on the advantage for the Wild. Ronning had to wait. Get onside. Joltok moved up. Staying on side. Sent back to near side as they try and get the set up. The Ducks are coming out challenging the puck. That one got busted up in the air off Richard Park's stick. Park had it taken away momentarily. Gets it back in the corner from Joltok. Park moves in. Doesn't shoot. Park again looking. Trying to find that seam to get the pass in front. Here's Joltok. Save made. Rebound to the point. Deflected in front. Taken by Joltok. Shot. That one wiffle balled in, and it's held on to.
A golden opportunity missed by the Wild. Sergei Joltok. He had the puck, and Giguère didn't realize the puck was on this side. Watch Giguère. He is looking to his left. Joltok had it, and Giguère just figured it out at the last second, but Joltok looked like he pumped a couple of times before he fired, and that gave Giguère a chance to get back over. Then Cliff Ronning misfired. Poor Cliffy Ronning's got to be talking to himself after the broken stick episode in Game 2 and fanning on that one.
Joltok, Ronning back on the bench. Schultz, power play, has got 44 seconds left on it. They come to the front again. Center and shot. Save made by Giguère and Gaborik. Second big-time chance for Gaborik in this first period.
Some pretty heady stuff right here. See, Giguère anticipated. and he was down on the butterfly and square to Gaborik when he took his shot. Gaborik hit him right in the duckbill. That duckbill has got so many black marks on it, it's almost dead, and Giguère just loving that.
46 shots for Gaborik in the playoffs coming in. He's one of the top 5 in shots taken. Played behind the net with 29 left to go. The Wild get another run at it. A 1-0 lead in this game with a minute left to go in the period. Second power play of the period for the Wild. Ducks have not committed a penalty. Schultz stepped up to hold it in. Came off the dasher. Sauer bounced it back in behind the net. Soleil came back to help. Power play's got 10 seconds left on it. 44 left in the period. Rolled out in front. Schultz could not get to it. Wild still have it. 5 left on the advantage. Susan. He'll wrist it in. Deflected. Rebound. Burnett couldn't get a shot off. It's over. Root back out on the ice. 5-on-5. Havel just out of the box. Nice pickpocket made. Susan was there to get it. They did not convert on the power play. They are 0 for 2. Shot from center. Deflected away. They had 2 shots on the last power play chance. The goal picked up by Ruchin at 4:59. Leclerc and Niedermeyer the assist. It is the only one up on the board. The Wild still trying to find one here. Moved back up Dupuis. Shuts it down. Shot just missed on the short side. That one is shot wide by Ronningen all the way to center. It is another scoreless period for the Wild. And another shutout period for Giguère. Ruchin picked up the only goal. The 16 shots by the Wild here in the first. The most in a period in the series, but they still trail.
1-0. Anaheim has the lead. I'm John Saunders. Barry Melrose, Ray Ferraro rejoin me in just a moment. First news from the series in New Jersey and Ottawa, all tied up at 1 apiece. And Ottawa defenseman Wade Redden may miss game number 3. He had a collision with Turner Stevenson behind the net. Knee on knee. Now, some of the Senators said Stevenson did that on purpose. Wade Redden said he didn't think so. He limped after practice today, and he is questionable for game 3. He says if it feels okay, he will go. Now, that's part of the injuries. All we're told is that it's a lower part of his body. That's what they do in the National Hockey League during the playoffs. They don't want anyone to know exactly what the injury is now. Barry and Ray join us now. And again, how are some of the ways that they can conceal some of these injuries?
Well, thanks, John. We're going to show you. So we just talked about Wade Redden, and certainly that is an injury that you can't hide. He's got a bad knee. The Scott Stevens injury had the cut ear. You can't hide that. You've got the Willie Mitchell injury, the face mask, broken jaw. You can't hide that. But when teams have players hurt, and we'll use hand injuries, for example, now you really start conniving. Let's say Paul Kariya breaks a finger, okay, the forefinger on his hand. Mark O'Neill, a trainer, will call Eagle Gloves, and he'll say, Paul Kariya's got a broken finger. I'm going to tape the 2 fingers together, but I need a glove to protect the hand that's injured, but also so no one knows what happens. Now, Paul Kariya's hand is like this. Look at this glove will come from Eagle the next day. It looks like a normal glove. It's beautiful. It's black. It's brand new. It'll be the envy of everybody in the team, right? But watch what happens here. Paul Kariya will put this glove on. You'll see right here, these 2 fingers, where the 2 fingers that are broken go in, are tied together. They're sewn together. So there's great support. There's great protection. But nobody on the Minnesota Wild will know Paul Kariya's got a broken finger. They're devious that way. They're hiding that injury away. You can still stick handle. Unbelievable.
Yeah, the difference in the gloves now as to when you played is they're so much lighter, so they're able to put so much more padding in the glove and still keep it comfortable for the guys. This glove here, again, it's much like Barry says, it's a glove that looks normal, but this thumb is reinforced with extra fiberglass in the middle here. It's much more solid. If a guy has a broken thumb, he's able to protect that. On the pinky side of the hand, this is a great little innovation they have here. Normal glove again, but you see here it's covered. It's got extra fiberglass there. Any slash that comes in here, the guy's going to be protected and be able to play.
And another thing we've talked about, Ray, I can guarantee you, folks, probably 10 guys on every team is being shot up with freezing because of injuries, taking anti-inflammatories. And every company does that. They send custom-made knee pads. They send custom-made shoulder pads for shoulder injuries, elbow pads. If a guy's got maybe a busted Bursac on his elbow where it's swollen up, they'll get special-made elbow pads for that guy, too.
Yeah, everybody talks about the MVPs in the playoffs, whether it's the Conn Smythe winner. Well, guess what? It's the doctors and the trainers that get the guys on the ice, give them a chance to play. They're every bit as important as anyone else.
Well, let's go back to another guy with really bad hands. Back to John Saunders.
Yeah, well, you want to see what Barry's gloves look like, Ray? Throw those down on the ice. Throw the gloves down on the ice, and that'll show you exactly what Barry Melrose's gloves look like.
Always better having sore hands and a sore face. That was my motto.
And there's nothing worse than having a broken beer sack as well. I hate when that happens. Back with more in a moment. Right now, we've got a 1-0 game. Anaheim looking to take a 3-0 lead.
This intermission report, presented by Southwest Airlines, the official airline of the National Hockey League.
Lead 1-0. Let's return to Anaheim and join Brian Engblom.
Thanks very much. I'm here with Keith Carney. Keith, you guys were underdogs in the first 2 series. Now you're up 2-0 in this series. How does that change things?
It doesn't change at all for us. We just talked about just continue to try to get better and stick to our game plan and play as hard as we need to play. But it's all about how we play. You know, we want to do what we do and not change anything because of the results in the first 2 games. We know it gets tougher from here, and we have to be better.
What worries you most about Minnesota, though?
They're obviously a great team to get this far. They beat a couple of good teams. They skate well. They make plays. They have a great power play, and they're a dangerous team. They came back from 3-1 deficits in the first 2 series, so we know they don't quit, and they're a relentless team.
Thanks very much, Keith.
Okay. Thank you.
Brian, thanks a lot. Jaguar's shutout streak is now 173-plus minutes. That's almost 3 hours of not allowing a goal.
That's more than I played in 82 games. Bottom line, though, is that he's great. He's unbelievable, and he's hot. But this team in front of him helping him so much. I counted 7 shots blocked by the Ducks players in front of him that period, counting 3 on the power play. Minnesota moved the puck around very well in that power play, Ray.
I thought it was Minnesota's best period of the series, really. They got a lot more jump offensively. They worked harder on the puck. Gaborik had 4 shots on goal after his benching in Game 2. He looked a lot better. Missed the breakaway. They've got to take advantage of their chances.
And again, for people thinking that Jaguar is coming out of nowhere, you're absolutely wrong. He had a shutout streak of 237 minutes during the regular season that spanned 10 days and some 3 games.
He's just getting warmed up.
And he may have the only goal he needs. It would stand up in the first 2 games. Gruchin, again, who's had a terrific playoffs, makes it 1-0. But when it's over, he'll get in the car, come back, and be ready for tomorrow night.
And the best thing is there's 3 new teams for Boomer to get nicknames for, so he's going to have to be on his toes.
As long as he doesn't confuse the Angels and the Yankees in there as well, he'll be solid.
And I don't know who that guy in the picture is, but Chris Berman's coming tomorrow night.
His younger brother.
This intermission report, presented by Southwest Airlines, the official airline of the National Hockey League.
That's you, but actually that's Conway. I know, but
a guy in the corner, big producer. What's his name?
I don't know.
You sure it's not written there? It's my agent in New York.
Life's good when you're Eric McCormick.
Hey, it's me. I'm in LA. The producer we had that meeting with last week. What's his name?
It's Max Hoffman.
Max Hoffman. Thank you very much.
But life's better when you're Eric McCormick and you have the cell phone with a walkie-talkie. Coast-to-coast walkie-talkie service coming soon, only from Nextel.
Gary Thorne, Bill Cloyd, Brian Engblom. Welcome back, everybody. Jaguar is human, he says, but Jaguar refuses to live up to that. He wishes to be something extra. 1-0, Ducks on top, second period. Wild went 0 for 2 in the power play in the first. Opportunities gone. Gaborik a breakaway. Could not convert on that either. So the streak continues. They have yet to score a goal. This is the 3rd game against Jaguar here in this series. Gaborik out there along the boards. Dropped it into the middle. They'll head back for Gaborik. Wes Walz. Walz moves in front of him and moves in front of him offside.
Well, the big gun for the Minnesota Wild is Marian Gaborik. He had a breakaway in the first period. In Game 1 of this series, Jacques Lemaire played him on the wing with Wes Walz. Look at this. Gaborik doesn't look too happy here leaving the ice. In Game 2, Gaborik lined up beside Joltok, and tonight there's Wes Walz. He is back with Wes Walz. They're not happy about something. I don't know if it's Walz and Gaborik that's got an issue. Looked like Wes Walz was yelling right in Gaborik's ear there.
I don't know what that was. It was about the offside, I'm sure.
Maybe that's why they got pulled off. You know, they were only out there for 20 seconds. I think that was Jacques Lemaire's way of saying, look, you don't have the discipline, stay on side, you're coming off.
Interesting, we were talking this morning, Bill, we got a penalty here. Sorry, on the Ducks.
For Anaheim, holding a stick.
3rd power play of the game coming up for the Wild. Babcock not real happy about this call.
There's Peter Sikora lined up beside Matt Johnson.
Well, that's
It's pretty much holding the stick. Pretty well is, yeah.
So we go back on the power play for the Wild.
You saw how Matt Johnson just overpowered Sikora there. That is the size and strength of the 6'5", 235 Johnson.
Ducks, though, able to win it. Back in behind the net, Keith Carney moved it out of there. The penalty at 26 seconds into the period, picked up by Sikora, holding the stick. All three penalties have gone against the Ducks in this game, and the Wild, their third power play opportunity. The Ducks have given up just one in the last 21 now. Ronning in, shot, save Jaguar. Straight up in the air and gloved behind him by Carney. Not out of the zone. Burnett was able to hold it in. Gaborik leaves it. Ronning's the only man on top. They got two in front of Jaguar. Shot deflected. Off the blocker again. So they're changing up on the power play and that they're overloading down low.
But they're still trying to, just Cliff Ronning makes the smart play. He is not trying to score when he gets the puck. He is trying to miss the set of shin pads in front of him and get the puck to the paint because he's got two guys there.
0 for 10 in this series for the Wild on the power play. Ronning drops it off. Penalty killers change up when that was down ice. Kicked into the corner. Niedermeyer not out in front. Shot! Short side. Bouchard missed it. Did not get it on net. Off the interception and a turnover by the Ducks. Gaborik comes to the near side boards. Back to Ronning. Ronning a little room. Doesn't take it. Back to Gaborik. Gaborik waiting. Heads to the front. They get two down in that low slot area, but the puck's not there. Good back for Gaborik, who goes to the other wall, trying to back it in. That was not a good pass. Carney intercepted. Gaborik held it in. Keith Carney got it back. Carney clears. 31 seconds left on the power play for the Wild. Hit the official, sent back in. Jaguar held it up. Soleil cleared it around. All alone over there is Ruchin declared out of the zone. 19 left on the Wild advantage. Glove down. Niedermeyer has got a couple of short-handed goals this playoff season. He sent it in, then hit it to the bench. They change up. 10 left on the power play. Just pushed into the corner. Nowhere to go with it. Jim Dowd. And he paid for it as he got hit. Moved back to the point. Shot there, and that gets blocked again. And it's amazing.
I'll tell you, Kuba just wanted to get it to the front. Why? There weren't two Wild teammates there. There were three.
0 for 3 on the power play. 0 for 11 in the series.
And Pierre-Marc Bouchard had his second good scoring chance of the game. He had a good one in the first period. Tried to go to the same place. High to the glove side. Might have deflected off the stick of Keith Carney. Both of these teams have great sticks. When you talk about sticks defensively, it's just always being in the right spot to get a chunk of the shot. And Pierre-Marc Bouchard found that out with Keith Carney in his face.
Gaborik had 4 shots in that first period to lead all shooters. Steve Thomas and Keith Carney had the 2 shots apiece to lead the Mighty Ducks. Cleared out of the zone and deep. They're going to go behind the net. Brett Bombardier back to get it. Bombardier working with that bad back. Cleared it out of the zone. Here's it near side for Park.
If Jacques Lemaire really wanted Matt Johnson to rattle some bones in this game, he's gotten his wish.
Yeah.
Boy, has he hit everything that's moved, and he's hit him clean too. He just drilled Ozolinsh.
That's his job. Save made. Rolison had a little trouble with it, but held on as Paul Correa got it up to Sikora.
Those high shots on Dwayne Rolison, that is what started the first goal play in the first period, the one that Anaheim scored. Reverse angle look at Adam Oates dishing, one of the great passers in our game. And see this play? Dwayne Rolison didn't lose sight of it in the first period. He thought he had squeezed it off, and he stood at the side of his paint. And that's why the cage was empty when Steve Ruchin slapped it home.
The Ducks, this is their 13th playoff game. It's only the second time they've had a lead after the first period. Most of their first periods are 0-0. Gaborik trying to clear it out of there, bounced away. But they got the goal in this first period to take the lead at 4:59. Ruchin. Claire and Niedermeyer had the assists on it, and it is the only one up on the board. Back for Kuba on the near side for the Wild. They try and go up the middle. It got deflected. Second will be an icing call on the touch by Carney.
You know, J.S. Giguère, when I talked to him this morning, he said the most discouraging time of his career was the 3 years he spent in St. John, New Brunswick in Calgary's organization. He said, I was really lonely and discouraged. I said, did they have a goalie coach? And he said, yeah, I still feel bad about it. His name was John Elkin, and I got him fired. I said, what do you mean? He said, well, they wanted me in the NHL. They kept sending him down to work with me. He said, I was so bad, I never made it to the NHL, and they fired him. He was that bad. I said, were you that bad? He said, I was that bad.
They ought to go find John right now and rehire, because look at the guy he put out here in the National Hockey League. Cleared around far side. It's held in by Sauer off the dasher and behind the net. Kuba came back, put a check on, freed the puck up. Wild unable to control. Bilesma came down the wall to get it. He was looking into the middle, didn't have anybody to pass to. Smirnoff dumped in by Soleil. Back center, he passed up blocked. Came right back to Jason Croak. Croak turned it along the wall. Ducks eating up time here with that puck in the zone. Caught Soleil right in the face, but not hard. And he keeps on playing. That puck came up and got him right in the chops. Back into the middle. Krog. They want a line change. They are onside. Smirnoff dumped it in. They want a line change, and so he heads out. Good work to hold that in by Krog. 4.5 in here to the second period. And again, the length of the ice, and it's going to be another icing call on the Wild. And right now, the wheels are turning slowly for Minnesota.
Talked about Giguère's old goalie coach. We have mentioned very often Francois Allaire, the man that he works with now, hands-on. Every morning in the playoffs, he's with them. Look at the foundational stuff they work on. Getting one blade set, pushing up, down on the knees. Whoop, I got to move. I'm just going to catch one blade, inside of one blade. They work on all of the foundational stuff every time Giguère goes on the ice to practice. For that matter, Martin Gerber's working on it too. Both of these goalies, the backup today, and Gerber and Giguère, you have a hard time telling them apart except for their gear.
And a shot. Keith Carney roots and shot going for two. Whoa, Murphy. No, they came off the netting. There's no goal there.
See, Gabrick took a shot at Mike Leclerc from behind because he scored after the whistle.
That puck hit the crossbars. Ruchin went for his second, deflected into the netting, came back on the ice. They kept playing it, but the official had already blown the whistle.
Steve Ruchin has just been awesome on the faceoffs. That one almost got to the front and it popped right back to Ruchin. When he won the draw, he just button hooked to the front. From our Southwest Airlines goal cam, you might have even gotten a glimpse of Steve Ruchin dropping his head back. Mike Leclerc was none too happy. Yeah, players don't like it, obviously, when you put a puck in the net after the whistle, but it was kind of a faint whistle. And of all people, Marian Gaborik came behind and gave him a little shot to the back of the head.
They are looking up, watching all of these chances that the Ducks are getting, and watching all of their chances that have not been converted. That'll be gunned in hard by Ozelek. Schultz comes over on the near side. And up the wall. Park will move it out of the zone. 3-on-2, 3-on-3. Ducks got back in a hurry. Ended up with a 3-on-4. Couldn't be handled by Paulson. They'll send it back deeper into the zone. The Wild, again, a turnover at center. Wisniewski tried to dump it ahead, couldn't do it. Park had to come back to play it. Richard Park, 3 goals, 3 assists this playoff season. That'll trickle in on Giguère wide. Wisniewski came back behind the net. And will move it out of the zone. Again, the dump in from the near side. Paulson got it down low. Thomas kicked at it to hold it in and did. Nobody in front of the net. Bounced off the side of the net. Ozelin put the hit on. Good work on the forechecking job. Bouchard on the far side for the Wild. His pass up. Oates had it, lost it, whistled. Hand pass called. And that will break up what could have been an odd man the other way for the Ducks.
Adam Oates likes that play. He likes that call a lot. I mentioned earlier Adam Oates, one of the great passers in the game. What is truly amazing is that when Adam Oates came into this league for the first half of his 20-some-year career, he liked to slow the play down. He would get the blue line and wait for his wingers to come. Because the game has changed and there's so much backside pressure, he has been forced to speed up his game. And why is that so surprising that he could do that? He's never been a good skater, yet he is surviving in a quick man's game.
And has the great hands and eyes to be the 6th all-time leading assist man. Joltok dropped it off. Spun around near side. Oates trying to dig it out against Laxinen. Again, they look to the middle. Shot deflected outside, right off the outside of the net. Off the near side post. Here comes Correa. Correa looking into the middle. Correa shot. Missed it on the short side. That's Sikora moving the other way. Laxinen far side. Andy Laxinen got it out of there. The Wild have not scored a goal in 3 games against the Ducks in this series. 13:45 to go in the second. The shutout streak continues for Giguère, and the scoreless streak continues for the Wild. Mitchell a chance. Save made. Giguère kicked it away. Bounced high off the boards. Loosened behind the net. Couldn't play it. Glove down by Oates.
That was Havlet again. Not only out-muscling the guy he had to deal with. There were 2 Wild players back there, but then chipping the puck out.
Kuba came back to help. Both teams wanted a little line change here. Only got it half done. Dropped into the middle. They had to go through. Giguère makes a save. Rebound. Shot. Giguère makes another save. Oh, mercy. Coming down was Willie Mitchell, the defenseman, following up on the rebound chance.
J.S. Giguère, we showed you him practicing in the morning. This was in game. Identical. Made the first stop in the butterfly. He left the dangerous rebound. Shove off with the left blade. Over. Man has air brakes. I mean, he's able to stop on ice.
Amazing balance and amazing positioning. Ozelich dumped into the corner. The Ducks have the 1-0 lead on the Ruchin goal in the first period. Shots are 20-13 in favor of the Wild on the game. In behind the net, and Bilesma, Jason Krogh, Bilesma, Krogh, and Smirnoff on this line. We'll get it taken away, rolls to center, but it'll be played by Ozelich. The Ducks get back onside. Ozelich skating backwards, running to his defensive partner, Kurt Sauer. Ozelich moves it in. Ozelich down the middle, shot over the net, and off the defenseman's stick, and the Wild will start from behind their own net. Somewhere right now outside of Montreal, Sauer's dad is pacing in the kitchen. He was so funny this morning, talking about his family back home because he's from Minnesota, and he said, my father cannot watch a game sitting down, so he just walks around the house from room to room to room. And he says he gets excited, gets up, sits down, got the family all on hand. Everyone's telling him to sit down and be quiet for a minute. He can't do it. And his son, Kurt Sauer, was so excited about having the family there to watch him play. He plays for the Ducks, but the family's in Minnesota.
Timing is everything. He even scored for them. Only his second goal in the post.
Amazing. That one got deflected before it got through. The near side, Carney left it behind the net. That is Ruchin. Ruchin goes to the corner with it. Back on top for Carney. Carney just dumped it in behind the net. Niedermeyer. Niedermeyer's centering pass got blocked. Cleared to center, but again the Wild can't connect on the outlet pass. Carney came back. They've got to clear the zone. Ronning moved it in. Decided he would be offside. Brought it back. Ronning leaves it. Balls. Ronning. Offside that time. That was Gaborik who was offside way over here in the right wing. Let's take a look at our Starbucks double shot storyline. Ruchin, 4th goal of the playoffs. LeClaire, 6th assists. 8 points of the playoff, leads the team in that department.
And for our Starbucks double shot replays, we'll take a double shot of the goal that Steve Ruchin scored. Dwayne Roloson thought he had it. He did not. Steve Ruchin never lost sight of the puck. Our Starbucks double shot storyline and replays.
Last 10 goals for Anaheim, scored by 10 different players. In this series, coming into this game and through the first 2, nobody had more than 1 point. And yet they have a 2-0 lead. Score! Roloson did not see it coming. Correa was right in front. 2-0.
You can't blame Dwayne Roloson on this one. What a play. This is one of the prettiest plays I've seen in any playoff game. Adam Oates has a piece of it. Peter Sikora has a piece of the play. And Paul Correa finished it off. Look at Adam Oates on the boards. Into Sikora. Watch this. Back to Oates and bang! Right out to Paul Correa with 2 guys standing near him. But they made it happen so fast. Look at this. Beautiful play by Sikora. He froze 2 defensemen. And then the play right out to Paul Correa. Before poor Dwayne Roloson knew it, Paul Correa had buried it. All right. You want to talk about defense, you got to take guys down low like that. It was a brilliant play by Peter Sikora and Adam Oates, but you can't get beat like that, and you also can't let Paul Correa stand all by himself.
Now the Wild have got to dig down very, very deep. They are down 2-0 in this game 3. They are already down 2-0 in this series. So that Johnson comes out, puts the hit on to try and fire it up a little bit. Darby Henderson a chance, missed it on the short side. Again, whistled in front. Wraparound chance doesn't happen. Puck got loose behind the net. Some jamming going on in front, though, as they try and muscle it up. Matt Johnson, he is digging and he is in the paint. Johnson backing in with his stick and his body. The puck sent along the wall. Deflects towards the middle. And the Ducks, Thomas moved it over. Paulson moves it out. Paulson's got Cheestop on the right, Thomas on the left. He's open. Score! Offside! Offside, no goal.
Oh my, the rookie Stanislav Cheestop just cost the Mighty Ducks. And you can't tell me that Roloson let up because of the whistle, because this was a laser. If Roloson did let up because of the whistle, he's got quicker reflexes than I thought. I mean, the puck was by Rolison as the whistle was blowing. What a blast from Sammy Paulson. And right in front of the Ducks bench, Cheestoff didn't put in the effort he needed to stay onside. He just did not put in the effort to stay onside.
By a half step, picking the leg up. Cost him a goal. It remains 2-0. That second goal, Korea got it his first of this series, fourth of the playoffs. Oates and Sikora pick up the assist, so they continue to spread out the scoring. And the Ducks have a 2-0 lead. Moving back in the Wild, trying to find a little opening. Sent in near side by Bombardier behind the net. And they are charging in front. Shot missed again. And that's another problem the Wild are having. Dupuis' shot wasn't on net. And throughout these first 3 games, many of the chances that the Wild have had just haven't gotten on net. Back to the front. Puck rolls into the crease. Not long enough to do anything with it. So it'll be an icing call on the touch.
Tomorrow night, more Stanley Cup playoffs continue on ESPN. 7 Eastern, Marty Brodeur and the Devils. They will host Daniel Alfredson and the Ottawa Sens. That series tied at 1. It'll be on ESPN HD as well. Then the NBA playoffs continue on ESPN. 10:30 Eastern, Dirk Nowitzki, Steve Nash, the Dallas Mavs. They're going to try to eliminate Mike Bibby and the Sacramento Kings. That is Game 6 of their series. Dallas leads it 3-2.
Keep in mind, in that last game, shot again deflected out deep. Another blocked shot. In that last game, the 2-goal win by the Ducks. First time they've won a game in the playoffs by 2 goals. They've now got a 2-0 lead here in this game. Held in near side. We're midway through it. 2-on-1 opportunity. Oh, what a back-checking job by Dan Bylsma. Bylsma reached in and just stole it. That would have been an odd man rush the other way. Can't get him. Jason Marshall cleared out of the zone. Again, poke check to center. Would have been offside. Good play by Wisniewski, who poked that away, and he'll chase it down in the corner. Wisniewski cleared it by Bouchard out the center. Onside Leclaire. Lays it. Niedermeyer. Niedermeyer with Leclaire trailing. Trying to go back to him. Dumps it into the corner. Leclaire spins it near side. Had Mitchell moving in. They get it into the zone, and it'll just be bumped out of there. Running cleared. Gaborik had to drop it back to the D. Walls had it kicked away. 9:06 to go in the second. A 2-0 Ducks lead. Trying to go up 3-0 in this series. This is the Mighty Ducks team that has already wiped out Dallas in 6 and Detroit in 4. Now they've got a chance to go 3 up.
Peter Sikora's got 2 goals in the playoffs. The first one was in the 5 overtime game against Dallas, but he lost his confidence after that. His goaltender, Jaguar, came to him in practice and said, come on, you and me, let's go. Anything goes. One-timers, breakaways, anything. Usually in the playoffs, you don't take high shots and one-timers against your goaltender. That's pretty amazing to me, Bill, isn't it to you?
Yeah, but with Jaguar, he just says, look, he's as competitive as it comes. And Peter Sikora will tell you that. Both Jaguar and Gerber are so competitive that it's really tough. All of the Mighty Ducks say it's so tough because there's Gerber backing up. They say it's so tough to score on these guys. It's no wonder we lose our confidence. We can't even score in practice.
That was the next question. Did he score?
I'm sure Jaguar was smart enough to let him shoot long enough to at least get one.
That's why they were here. That's why they were here at 5 o'clock when we came back. Susan moved it over to Park, sent it around the boards, and another icing call. And now the discipline in question for the Wild. We've had about 5 icing calls here since the 2-0 lead for the Ducks.
We have our sky cam in operation. It is suspended and moving back and forth down the middle of the rink. The second goal that the Mighty Ducks scored, a wonderful passing combination. The Minnesota Wild basically standing and watching Sikora and Oates, and finally Korea finishing.
Those are the men who got the assists. Sikora and Oates. Korea got that goal. Back up the other way is Dupuis. Knocked away. Dupuis will head to the front of the net. Looking there, Laxton trying to find somebody. Goal talk, had it deflected away to the near side. Wild still holding it in. You can see they are playing with some desperation. Mitchell's shot gets blocked right off the boards and moved out the center. Again, blocked shots. Not even remotely close to getting towards the goaltender.
But I'll tell you something. I know the Wild were kind of standing around when Paul Korea scored, and they made it 2-0 with that goal. The Wild have done anything but sag. I mean, they've actually got more jump right now. They got nothing to show for it.
Paulson leaves it in the middle. A shot, save made, rebound, score! Cheestoff! 3-0 Ducks.
We will see about that jump now. Stanislav Chistov, you had to know that he was full of guilt for having nullified Sammy Paulson's blast when he was offside. So Chistov here. Here's his payback. Okay, boys, we're even. From our Southwest Airlines goal cam, the hands of the rookie Chistov. He just threaded the needle just inside the post. No problem for the kid.
Second goal in 10 games, and we get a goaltending change. Rolison is coming out. Manny Fernandez is coming in with 7:44 left to go in the second period. So for Rolison, it's 3 goals on 16 shots. And now Manny Fernandez, who played in game 1 and who has the 5th best goals against and 4th best save percentage in the playoffs. Manny Fernandez is back in net and does not get the chance to warm up.
Now it's a double problem. The Minnesota Wild have to stop the bleeding at their end and somehow try to start the bleeding at the other end.
Walls in behind the net. Takes the hit from Keith Carney. Gaborik back out there with Ronning and Walls. Gaborik, Walls. Not going very far there, though. Carney would not open it up. Keith Carney reached in, tried to bat it away. Back up on top of the shot. That one goes wide. Marshall's chance not getting directed on net. Moved up by Haviland and out through center. Ducks take it wide to Leclerc. The goal at 12:16. Chistov gets his first of this series, but his 4th of the playoffs. Wisniewski and Paulson. Rebound chance deflected by the D as it was wound up. Crow had an opportunity there. Couldn't get it through the defenseman. It went down on the ice, and it's cleared out to center. Great to have you with us here. Arrowhead Pond is the site, and for these fans, the Ducks story continues. A 3-0 lead. This team wins when they have 1 goal. They've got 3. And the Wild still haven't scored in the series. Krog had it, lost it. Bouchard. Poke checked away, and it did come outside the zone as Bilesma got his stick in on it. Going for another record. As you see, Rolison, who's on the bench, is the goaltender at the other end. The only goaltender to record a shutout first 3 games of a playoff series was Frank McCool of Toronto.
Just yesterday.
1945.
Just yesterday.
Just yesterday.
1945. Let's see. Carry the 1. That would be right around 58 years ago.
Jaguar now has come up. We've got a list. It's about a page long, and it keeps growing, of either first or record-breaking performances in net for a goaltender in a playoff.
And a lot of those records have to do with the kid that, well, he's not a kid. He's going to turn 26 soon, but his first time in the playoffs.
Save Correa! Will it count? Yes! Paul Correa bats it out of the air. It's a 4-0 Ducks lead. That's the warm-up for Manny Fernandez. They may go upstairs to see if that stick was above the crossbar.
Yep, and that is what it's about. Not above the shoulders, above the crossbar. Coming down, coming down. Well, tough to tell from that angle. From that angle, it looked like it was above the crossbar. From this angle, I have 0 idea. And from this one, it'll be our best if we can see it. Oh, I think it looked good. From that angle, it looked good. And you know, and I know, Gary, Paul Correa has both the IQ and the hand-eye coordination to wait till it's below the crossbar, even though he was running out of angle.
We've showed you his juggling routine. One of the things he does for hand-eye coordination is he juggles. He's very good at it. We've had a feature story that we've run on him a couple of times about that. And he is that quick.
And there's no doubt about the backhand. He had a bet with his coaching staff this year. Wow, that sure looked below the crossbar. He had a bet with his coaching staff that he would score 20 goals on the backhand. He only got up around a dozen. Oh, man, that really looks... That's why we have 4,000 angles, because the first one definitely looked like it was above the crossbar. The lower you bring the perspective of the camera down, the more it looks good.
Mike Murphy, supervisor on hand here for the National Hockey League, working in the replay booth. We'll be taking a look at this as well. If this stands, Mike Babcock's team will all of a sudden not only be an outstanding defensive team, but will have started to score goals.
If they had a 4-0 lead in the playoffs, a 4-goal lead, no, if they had even a 3-goal lead, I mean, they're busting open new territory game after game.
It counts.
A 4-goal lead for the Mighty Ducks. And I'll tell you what, Gary, the worst thing for the Wild is that besides falling behind 4-0, besides being down 2-0 in series games, Paul Kariya looks like he's ready to catch fire.
There's only been one hat trick scored this playoff season. Kariya's now got 2 in the game. With 6:09 to go, there is their captain. Paul Kariya, 2-goal game. He had not had a point in 3 coming into this. He's now got 5 goals this playoff year. And the Mighty Ducks have taken a 4-0 lead on the Wild. Wild trying to send it in. Dumped in by accident into the corner. Soleil takes the hit from behind. And a good shot it was by Matt Johnson. Johnson's doing his part. Coming out playing some physical hockey. It just is not resulting in anything at the other end. And it's answered by Wisniewski. Wisniewski went right after Johnson in the corner. Cleared up the far side boards and out of the zone.
Not the second time Wisniewski whacked him in this game. He went after him before.
Wisniewski don't know that as a real physical player. That one sent the Ronning, but he couldn't reach it. Gaborik. Harvey Hendrickson is out there now with Ronning and Gaborik. That one shot to the near side. 5:28 left here in the second. The goal picked up at 13:51. Paul Kariya. Gaborik in front. Couldn't bat at it. Moved out. It'll be an icing call. Kariya from Sikora and Oates at 13:51. A 1-0 lead after 1-3 unanswered goals for the Ducks here in the second. 4-0. They're doing that. NHL Gamecast, live scoring, shot charts, game stats. The best way to follow every Stanley Cup game. It's available at ESPN and NHL.com. That's NHL Gamecast. Right now the game is being cast in the Ducks' favor. A 4-0 lead. 4 goals on 19 shots in this game. And the Wild will have to play it back at center. Mason Marshall came back to get it. Minnesota, thus far this playoff year, coming into this game, had done its best offensive work on the road. So far, not yet. Back into the middle for a backhand chance, and Manny Fernandez a save. Jason Krog's lines had a couple of chances on their last 2 shifts.
And you know what? With a 4-0 lead, somebody like Jason Krog can go out there and dangle a little bit, try some good offensive moves. I mean, if it was a 1-1 game or a 0-0 game, he might have just dumped this one by him or tried a long shot. Instead, he tried to beat a guy. I mean, that's how you get your confidence. So it spreads quickly when you get a pretty nice lead. You start going back to what your bread and butter is, and Jason Krog's got some great hands.
Mighty Ducks winning by 2 goals in the last game after every other win this playoff year had been by 1. Now in this one, a 4-0 lead with 4:50 to go in the second period. And Niedermayer's in the corner for the Ducks. Send it back to Leclerc. Ian Niedermayer behind the net trying to get control of it. Kuba reached in, couldn't knock it away. Steve Ruchin out there on this line. Leclerc's in the middle. It's tied up again by Niedermayer. Niedermayer skating around with it. Bombardier puts the hit on. Niedermayer, Ruchin. A Wild cannot get control of the puck here. Dean Smith would be proud as the clock ticks.
Boy, Robbie Niedermayer just doing a great job of holding off West Walls.
Held in by Leclerc. Almost straight through the top of the crease. Pretty good opportunity. Keith Carney holds it in. Long shift. The bench over there cheering for this line for the Ducks, for the job they're doing. Walls just backhands it out because they need a line change as well. And Carney will float it back along his own blue line. Leclerc's got it. He'll send it to the wide side corner, and the Ducks will change it up to the applause of their teammates on the bench. Ronning knocked it out of the air. It went behind him. Centering pass. Shot save by Fernandez, and the chances are piling up now.
We'll take a moment here to look at our series summary, show you some of the numbers. You see the goals, 7-0 in the series for the Mighty Ducks, but then you look at the shots, advantage Wild. You look at the scoring chances, advantage Wild. And I've always said the one thing that skews the hockey equation is goaltending. You outshoot them, outchance them, out-hit them. You add goaltending, and you can lose to them.
Closing in on 190 minutes of consecutive shutout playoff action is J.S. Jaguar. He's at the other end. Could be an icing call. Soleil gets back for the touch, and that's what it will be. Jaguar not only is doing all the things we've said, but he's doing it facing the most number of shots of any goaltender involved in this year's playoff season. He's had 104 more shots than the Devils' Brodeurs had. He's had 115 more than Patrick Lalime, and only 14 less than the goaltenders of the Wild combined, and they've played 4 more games. So it's not just he making saves, he's having a lot of them. That one is whistled wide off the near side boards. Mitchell comes back to get it. Mitchell will start it up for Minnesota. At center, Brunette dumped it into the corner. Giguère will come out to play it, feathered it over to Crow. And Bilesma cleared it out. Holtz came back to get it, knocked it away, not far enough. Smirnoff was there, tried to center. Andrew Brunette moved in to take it. Cleared out by Bouchard to Mitchell. Mitchell heads to the middle, pass to him, deflects off his stick. Not touched with a high stick, moved up the wall. Nevsky overskated. Chance blocked in front again. That never got through. The D was out in front. Wisniewski moves in front to help. Giguère came out and put a body block on to take down the Wild in front of him. Pascal Dupuis, I think. Brunette.
Yeah, I think that was partly a product of trying to get his body in front of the puck, too.
2:27 left to go, second period. Then we'll have our Dodge intermission report. John, Barry, Ray standing by, blocking shots. Barry will talk about that, the Wild's new strategy, and a look at what's gone on overall in the playoff year.
Hey, Bear, don't forget to tell everybody not to dive head first, okay? I know that might seem like common sense, but for all the kids, don't bother diving head first.
It's not a good idea with or without a helmet.
Don't do it like Barry used to do, head first. Look what happened to him, huh?
He became a studio analyst. That's what happens when you block shots with your head.
Watch this play here. This is a shot from the point, and that's when Brunette went down, but you see what Giguère had to do. He had to throw his right shoulder and get to the right. I mean, he had to kind of body block Brunette to get his body in front of the puck.
Here's Giguère playing the puck up the near side, and Ruchin was able to clear it out of the zone. 2:18 left to go here in the period. Niedermeyer will send that one in wide on Manny Fernandez. With Wayne Rollison, the starter, out, giving up 3 goals on 16 shots. Here in this second period, he left, and Fernandez came on and has given up 1 goal so far. Wild. This is real tough now for Minnesota to dig down and find a way to keep hustling and playing in this game. And they have not scored yet in the series, and another period's about to end without a goal.
And we could say, listen, the one thing that Anaheim can't do is shoot themselves in the foot by taking penalties, but that hasn't hurt them either. And one thing that has cost the Minnesota Wild so far, not only in this game but in the series, is not being able to solve the penalty killers of Anaheim.
Rollison, the 33-year-old, out of there, went 2-1 against Anaheim during the regular season, but the 3 goals on 16 shots here in Game 3 has placed him back on the bench.
While I have a chance here, I just want to thank the goalies that we've had a chance to cover. Some of the most personable, easygoing people. Dwayne Rollison, Manny Fernandez. Giguère stands talking to you as long as you want. Dwayne Rollison this morning, wonderful. Marty Turco, Dallas. The guys in the East have Patrick Lalime and Martin Brodeur, 2 of the most personable, easygoing guys. Thank you for making our lives and our jobs easier.
Most goaltenders, it used to be, just would not even talk to anybody on the day of a game, and rarely on days when there wasn't a game. These guys on the day of games are standing up there and answering everybody's questions until the last member of the press is left. And Giguère's, I mean, he's waiting for somebody else to ask him a question. He stands there and waits for someone else to come.
I stood there until everybody left, and he was still just standing there.
Yeah, here's Sakara, drops it off. Ozelay-Jen, his chance, gloved by Fernandez. That will be whistled. A reminder, tomorrow night, Stanley Cup playoffs continue on ESPN. The time will be 7 o'clock. Marty Brodeur, we were just talking about the Devils take on Ottawa. That series is now tied at 1-1. That game is available on ESPN and HD. That's tomorrow. And so is the NBA playoffs. 10:30, the Dallas Mavericks take on the Kings, Game 6. Dallas a chance to wrap it up. So you get the NHL and the NBA postseason on ESPN both tomorrow.
Can't miss TV.
Can we use that? Can't miss TV?
No, there's must-see TV, but we don't use that. But
we don't use that?
I use can't miss.
We can use it. Yeah. Can't miss TV. 1 minute left to go in the period. Pass dropped off, and again another chance. Zoltak had an opportunity to shoot and just let that one go. The veteran Steve Thomas uses the D. Shot got blocked, go into the corner. Good play by Brad Bombardier. He got the stick on it. Around for Bouchard. Bouchard's got Brunette cutting in through the middle with Zoltak the puck. Zoltak bounces that one off the near side. Andrew Brunette went up and over Carney. Centering pass. Turnaround. Mitchell will take it. Deflected in front. Another block. Soleil. Shot Ronning listed on the short side.
Soleil really uses his skates well. He's like an old-time goalie. You know, the skate blade to the side, put out the skate. He has blocked 3 in this period like that in front.
Now with 17 seconds left to go here in the second, we'll get a whistle and a face-off at the other end. A 4-0 lead. Anaheim, first time they have had 3 goals in a period here in the playoffs, and the first time Minnesota's allowed 3 goals in a period in the playoffs.
Paul Kariya sitting on the bench. What's interesting is Mike Babcock, and he even told me this morning, he said, I break up that line, Oates, Sikora, and Kariya, if we get the lead. Balance my defense a little bit. You know what? They got the lead, and I'm sure that he saw that Paul Kariya playing with Adam Oates and Peter Sikora had something special going on tonight and just decided to leave them together. And right now he's glad he did.
Daguerre in front had that one deflect, but never really ended up being on net on him, and that's the period. A 4-0 lead in Game 3. The Wild, who are already down 2-0, have their heads down as well. And Daguerre has run his shutout streak to 193 minutes and 17 seconds.
John Saunders, Barry Melrose, Ray Ferraro, and a 4-0 lead. The shutout streak has now reached almost 200 minutes.
Astronomical numbers.
It's unbelievable that this guy is that good, but he's getting a lot of help in front of him.
Yeah, the team in front of him isn't getting enough credit. He's getting all the ink, which is great. The guy's on fire right now, and his numbers are spectacular. But the bottom line is there's a group of guys very dedicated in front of him that are giving up their bodies in order to make this guy look good. I figured already at least 10 block shots in this game. You combine that with the best goaltender in the playoffs so far. You're getting great defensive coverage. You're getting guys covering the points. You're getting probably 4 guys that are wide open and missed the net already. Puck goes back to the point, shot in front, no problem right there.
Here the puck comes up. Kuba doesn't take the puck here in front of the net, and Ruchin throws it in the open side. Later on here, the puck goes behind the net. Minnesota has to be perfect with their coverage to get into this game. They've hurt themselves continually in front. He comes out front here to Kariya. You saw Dupuis skating around. He doesn't get to him. Gaborik doesn't get to him. It goes in the net. Later on, they got the puck here on the side. They throw it out in front of the net. Sikora shoots the puck. You're going to see Kuba again. Now, he's twice the size of Kariya. He's got to get a body on top of him. He plays the puck. Kariya goes around and bats it into the front of the net. And if Anaheim's going to get back, or if Minnesota's going to be in the game, they have to be perfect defensively. They were not. They're down 4-0. And Barry, they got a snowball's chance. They're going to get 4 by Daguerre.
Well, I think they got to start with 1 first. But the bottom line is you're not even just getting it off. You don't even have to beat Daguerre. You got to beat everybody in front of him, as I mentioned last time. Guys are blocking shots. Carney's been great. I figure there's at least 10 block shots. They've missed the net 4 or 5 times in clear-cut chances. That means the goaltender's getting in their minds, and they know that the people in front of them are giving up their bodies. This team right now is so dedicated to that guy in net. Their system is so dedicated to defense. When they had 1 goal, I thought the game was over.
And the efficiency of this guy is what amazes me. He does not have to move that much side to side to come up with the big save. When we come back, we're going to talk about the East. That series is much tighter. Tied at a game apiece. Ottawa and Jersey when we come back.
This intermission report, presented by Dodge, the official road team of the NHL. Grab life by the horn.
20 more minutes for Anaheim, and they have a 3-0 lead. They can wrap up that series Friday if that's how it turns out. Now, in the East, as we mentioned, a 1-1 series right now. Ottawa and New Jersey look like 2 totally different games, but New Jersey gets the win, but they do it in spite of a poor power play.
Yeah, let's get talking about these offensive teams from the East where everyone scores. Both teams get to put the puck in the net. New Jersey is the best defensive team in the NHL. Their mindset is defense, but I think that hurts them offensively, especially on the power play. Watch here. Niedermayer goes over to Rafalski. Rafalski has a wide open lane to Gomez. He's not even thinking of making that pass because there's 2 Ottawa Senators with their sticks in the passing lane that might intercept the pass. No way am I ever going to risk getting the pass intercept, so I go over to Niedermayer. Niedermayer could have shot that puck too, but he might have got his shot blocked, so he goes to Gomez. 2 men in front of the net along with the Ottawa Senator. Gomez won't drop his head and wire a slap shot because he is scared Chara will block the shot or deflect it out. Nice little wrist shot through there, but no problem. Now, Marshall hunts the puck very well. He throws it deep. Now, Elias throws it deep to Gomez. Now, watch this, folks. This is unbelievable. Marshall's right in front of the net on his forehand. Gomez is going to put it right on his tape. He's not even thinking of shooting. He's going into the corner. It goes out to Rafalski, who shoots it. But by now, there's no devil in front of the net, and Rafalski's shot is 60 feet away instead of Marshall's shot, which was 6 feet away. That is one of the reasons the New Jersey Devils do not have a good power play, because they won't take any risks, and defense comes first. But the bottom line is this team has won 2 Stanley Cups, and they've been to the finals 3 times. If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
That's right, and they told you young. Don't give up the 6-footer for the 20-footer. Now, for Ottawa, Ray, the big question about them and the disappointments in the years past is whether or not this was a mentally playoff tough team. Have they become one?
I think they've taken strides to become one that they were in the past. They went into Philadelphia after getting pushed around a little bit in Ottawa in the first 2 games. They won a couple of games in Philadelphia, and I really think they showed that they have grown as a team. But where they're really going to be tested is going back in Game 3, back to New Jersey. They may not have Wade Redden, which is going to hurt a power play that has struggled mightily in the first 2 games. I thought if Ottawa had one advantage going into this series, it was their power play was so much better than New Jersey's. They don't have a power play goal. They better be mentally tough if they're going to get this goal.
Had compiled a 4-1 record at home, and in doing so had scored only 11 goals on their home ice. They picked up 4 already in this one. Welcome back, everybody. Gary Thorne, Bill Clement. So the Ducks just deciding to say you thought we played only D.
Yeah, they were squeaking out wins up to this point, but now they've even found their offense. Paul Correa has struggled to score goals in the playoffs. He's having a good night. He's got 2. You know, the record of the Mighty Ducks just started to turn around at the halfway point of the season, and to me it coincided with when Brian Murray brought in Sandis Ozelin to the All-Star break, then brought in Rob Niedermeyer and Stevie Thomas at the trade deadline, and these numbers indicate, they show you what has happened not only in the second half but in the playoffs for the Mighty Ducks. They just piled up W's.
And it's always said the West Coast teams in every sport struggle by not getting recognition because the games are played so late. 3/4 of the country sometimes doesn't even get the final score in the next day's newspapers. The Ducks kind of got lost in that, stayed under the radar. As Mike Babcock, their coach, continues to say, we're not surprised at the way we're playing, but we understand why everybody else is, because you just hadn't heard about us. We didn't get the publicity.
Can you hear us in Schenectady? Are you watching? It's only 11 p.m. Come on, stick with us.
They're hearing them now. We got a penalty behind the play. There is Mike Babcock. Great story. His dad was a pit boss in the mines. Growing up in the Northwest Territory, I hesitate to even try and pronounce the name of his hometown, Manitowoc, Ontario. And then he goes to Red Deer to coach, Moose Jaw, Lethbridge University, and Spokane. That's his career coming up, and he says, everything I do by example. He said, my dad was a pit boss. In order to get guys to follow you in the mines, they had to believe in you. He said, that's what I'm doing here, trying to get guys to believe in me. Well, looks like they're believing a whole lot in you. They've got a 4-0 lead, power play opportunity. Ozelin out, 24 seconds in. Hooking call, all the penalties have resulted in 4 power play chances for the Wild. They have yet to convert a power play chance this year against the Ducks. Short-handed. Anaheim moves it the other way. Ruchin into the zone. He's picked up a goal. Head checked into the corner. Ruchin came back to get it. Tying it up. Kicked it away. Steve Ruchin. Jaguar may get a shutout, but Ruchin may be the #1 star in this game.
He has been fantastic. Has done everything right. Remember, he is the guy that's supposed to be out there with his line when Gaborik is on the ice for Minnesota. So primarily a defensive assignment, but he wins faceoffs. He has scored in this game and done everything.
Cleared back out of the zone by Dan Bilesman. Saw that pretty good fall. The Wild trying to come into the zone. One slipped and went to the corner. Marian Gaborik sends it wide side to Ronning. Ronning looking into the middle. Kuba drops it off, down to 43 in the advantage. In front, open, Niedermeyer's got it. That hit a bunch of players in front. Niedermeyer, 2 short-handed goals, playoff year. Sends that one in, blocked by Fernandez. Fernandez blocked another one and looked behind him. He wasn't sure if it had gone in the net or behind the net. It went behind it. Gaborik coming up, fans applauding the defensive play of the penalty killers. Intercepted again, Ruchin.
Steve Ruchin went for about a 20-second rest. Hey, rest is overrated this time of year.
Shots are even at 24-24. Sent in. Kuba whistled offside. 9 left on the power play for the Wild.
Well, what was once a bread and butter unit has gone dry for the Minnesota Wild. Their power play 7 for 29 against the Avalanche, 8 for 28 against Vancouver, and 0 for 11 so far in this series against the Mighty Ducks of Anaheim. Boy, they've had their chances. This is power play number 4. It's amazing. The Mighty Ducks have only scored 4 power play goals in the playoffs, but they have only yielded 5 power play goals against, and they have scored 3 shorthanded goals. So that's why nobody's making a big deal about their power play not working. Plus, they're winning.
They've given up just 1 power play goal in the last 23 chances. Moved in by Schultz, far side. Power play is over. 1 shot on it. Centered in front. Shot saved. Jaguar rebound. Jaguar's got that one too.
What a play, though, by the kid. Pierre-Marc Bouchard, number 96. He just lit up the Quebec League in junior hockey in Canada for 2 years. He made a beautiful play to Jim Dowd, but Jim Dowd had to take it with the skate. By the time he kicked it up to his stick, Jim Dowd didn't have a chance to try to get this airborne. You know, he would have liked to chip it over him, but he had incoming problems. From our Southwest Airlines goal cam, getting jiggy with it.
Another big scuffle in front. More help by the defense. Face-off win. Jaguar save. Rebound. Jaguar clipped the rebound. And look at Walls. If you want to know where this series is at, Wes Walls' reaction just told you. He just looked to the heavens.
Good face-off by Walls. Gaborik, the man they want to shoot it, deflected. Jaguar still got it with his left pad. He couldn't control the rebound. Watch this. It deflected right to Wes Walls. He tried to get it over him. The good play. Jaguar wants to announce to the world he's got a glove, too.
Another save, and he hangs on. And it's like they're giving him an opportunity to shine even more. The opportunity, Gaborik, Ronning, and Walls putting them together on this shift.
How could you run out of superlatives to describe a guy's performance in his first time in the playoffs? I mean, that's basically where we are.
I'm telling you, opportunities, as we've said, are there. It's not as though he's doing this without having to work. The shots and the chances for Minnesota have been there, but so has Jaguar. A 10-2 record, first 12 playoff games. He's the first goaltender in NHL history to win 10 of his first 12 postseason games. Yet another on that page of superlatives. Havlat, Niedermayer. Niedermayer to the red line, dropped it off. Leclerc back for Niedermayer, but he was offside. And the face-off will be at center. We will be right back here on Friday night. And it looks like it's going to be a chance on Friday for the Ducks to have their second series sweep. This series, this playoff year.
There's Willie Mitchell. Had a chance to chat with him this morning. He said, yes, this series is much tougher. He said, I knew it was the Forsberg line. I had a physical challenge against Forsberg. I knew it was Bertuzzi, a big physical challenge there. He said the enemy is far more difficult to identify in this series. Therefore, my assignment is not as specific. Therefore, my focus, I don't think, is quite as good.
Knocked away by Oates behind the net, but he could not control it. Cleared back near side and just rolled out of the zone. Ducks able to just poke, check it away back into the end. Korea, Oates batted it out of the air again. Got it back in behind the net. Oates blocked it. Adam Oates trying to center, spun around, protected it. Still has it in the skates. Kicked it away to the corner. Sikora trying to get there. Kuba tying him up. Sikora. There's the series for Adam Oates. And that's offside. Wisniewski could not hold it in.
That was little men against bigger men.
How'd we get here with only 4 teams left in this year's Stanley Cup playoffs? Ottawa, New Jersey, the series tied at 1-1. Game 3, Thursday at 7 Eastern. Here in the West, Minnesota, Anaheim, the number 6 and 7 seeds. That will be on ESPN Friday at 10:30 for Game 4. High back in, dropped off behind the net. Manny Fernandez coming in. In front shot, what a save he just made. T-Stop looking for his second goal of the game. Richard's pass broken up. T-Stop has already got one. It'll be the Wild. In along the boards, T-Stop blocked that one. Pass by Paulson to him got deflected, and it has to be taken even deeper. And even though they got a 4-0 lead, they have not, the Ducks, let up here in this third period. They are grinding the forecheck out. That's Thomas in the corner with a hit on Jason Marshall.
They don't lay back. I mean, Mike Babcock says, play our game, even with the lead. They really want first-man pressure. If they can get that, they contain in the offensive zone. I mean, that's the best place to play D.
Here's Thomas back with Bombardier on him. Save made by Manny Fernandez. And both teams want a line change with 15-10 left to go in the third period. On the line change, Park moves it in. Shot, Jaguar, save, rebound, Jaguar! Another save, Jason Marshall. Joel Talk. And now the first big pileup we've had in this series.
A lot of adrenaline flowing here, and bad feelings, at least bad karma. But a chance to see Jaguar's beard that he hasn't trimmed. Mike Babcock's not liking this. I think he thought that Matt Johnson yelling at Lemaire, why you got Matt Johnson out there? Matt Johnson has not hurt his team. They've got a winning record with him in the playoffs. There's not been a minus. Richard Park put this one in. The rebound went to Zoltak. Matt Johnson looked like he was just pushing, blocking, and jamming. I don't think there's a problem with that. He actually banged into Sandis Ozolinsh, and that sent Ozolinsh into Giguère.
Matt Johnson heads out. Lemaire's looking up at the replay. Here's what he sees.
High stakes. You drive for rebound.
Yeah. Babcock talking to the officials. The call, though, there's only one. It's going to go against the Wild, and it will go against Matt Johnson. We continue to run the numbers on Giguère. There you see the shutout streak. The playoff record, Normie Smith in 1936.
36.
Pretty soon we're going to be in biblical times citing numbers that J.S. Giguère's reaching.
The pucks were made of frozen horse droppings in 1936. Are you kidding me? 1936?
All right, we'll get Johnson gets a double minor at 4:58 for roughing, and Sauer gets 2 for roughing. So the power play goes to the Ducks. Sauer will serve his 2-minute minor. Johnson will sit in there with 4. And the power play will go to the Ducks, and it'll be their first one of the game. They are already leading it by a score of 4-0. And the Mighty Ducks get the advantage. As we've noted, they're 0 for 4 in this series. And will continue to search for their first power play of the year, regular season or playoffs, against the Wild. Korea's looking for the hat trick as he has picked up 2 goals in this game. Ozolinsh held it in. That's Paul Korea going to the corner. Adam Oates, Sikora in front. Ozolinsh, a chance. Down low, deflected by Sikora. Tried to redirect that towards the net. Korea to Sikora, moving in. Shot, short side. Probably would have been wide, but it's gloved by Manny Fernandez. And the hitting picks up a little bit after the whistle.
Mike Babcock wants to make sure his guys don't get whacked and hacked. Willie Mitchell and Paul Korea came together. No harm done there. A little shot. Didn't hurt Peter Sikora. Could have been called, though. I mean, depending on how tightly the game was being called.
Frustration on the part of the Wild, obviously. Power play for the Ducks, first one they've had in this game. And that will be sent the length of the ice. Anaheim has had to play in only this their 13th game. Minnesota's playing in their 17th because of the sweep that the Ducks put on. Shortened up, of course, the number of games they've had to play, so they've been able to get, as this series has gone along, a little more rest than have the Wild. Taking their series deep, the first 2 series, going 7 games. Down back in by Krog, who got a little face wash, compliments of Mitchell. Krog gets right back up along the boards. 49 left on the power play. Pretty good slack.
Yeah.
Wow. Back down low, the centering pass for Thomas from Ozolinsh. Back again for Thomas, batted away and up in the air. Thomas steals it, power play still underway. Ozolinsh is in the corner now. Ozolinsh moves back up onto the point. Shot by Thomas, deflected off the D. Held in, power play. 28 seconds left on it. Battle along the near side boards. Oxenden getting physical out there. If you want to put that chop on, it's cleared out of the zone. Krog put a hit on behind the play on Zuzi. And Hagelin will come back in behind the net to get it. 10 left on the advantage for the Ducks.
You almost have to manufacture your own hatred. The problem in playing the Ducks for any team is there's nothing to hate about them. They don't do anything to really get under your skin.
Losing would get under my skin.
Yeah.
Here's Correa. And went off his stick, and the power play is over. No shots on that power play. Ruchin got it back to Paul Correa. 5-on-5 now. Near side to Niedermeyer. Niedermeyer puts it up on top. Soleil, a wrister, just deflected wide. Fernandez got the stick out as Paul Correa redirected. Hit put on by Darby Hendrickson in the corner. Up the boards. Burnett able to clear it out of there. And at center. Dupuis was trying to run it down. Keith Carney was there.
Losing would get under my skin too, but it's hard to find a villain dressed in white out here, isn't it?
Yeah, well, they're all good guys. I mean, there's
on the ice, though. They don't, you know,
there's no nasty play. It's not the way they play the game. Wild able to get it. They'll move it up with 12:20 left to go here in the third period. Burnett cutting to the net. The shot is deflected around it. Alswell on the near side. Got hit by Burnett. Played back onto the point. Shot by Kuba. Another block. Held in Bouchard. Bouchard turns it. Didn't go to the net. That's where you wonder if Jiggy's really in the back of these guys' minds. We've seen a number of chances tonight for the Wild where people could have shot. It was as though they froze a minute thinking, can I get even a better chance?
No doubt. You try to fine-tune it. I've got to place this thing perfectly. I've got to make sure it's a perfect shot. And then it turns into no shot.
And it's gone. Chastov got dumped over there in front of the bench. Bilesma went skating by one leg. Up in the air. Shot by Kuba was deflected into the corner. Here's Zoltak. Zoltak trying to center. That's blocked. Came up the wall. Marian Gaborik over to get it. Gaborik takes the shot. That again is blocked. Ronnie was coming through the middle. Never got through. 32-27. The shot's in favor of the Wild, but it's the Ducks who have the 4-0 lead here in the running time third period. Ruch and Korea, Chistov and Korea again have picked up the 4 goals for the Ducks.
3 different lines, so they've sped it around.
Mitchell got the dump in, shot on, save made by Jaguar. Darby Henderson.
That's the one time where Jaguar looks like he is in trouble, and he has been a number of times. He doesn't get back into his cage very quickly.
Up the side, Schultz turned Niedermeyer. Niedermeyer all the way back to his own blue line. Niedermeyer backhands it in front, blocked. Moved out of the zone, won a line change. Mitchell cleared it. That's all they did. Manny Fernandez back in behind the net. 10:41 left to go here in the third. Mitchell picks that one up. Back through center, Paul Correa blocked it. Mitchell got it again. Set it up ice. No offense off it though. Off Oates' stick. Schultz was there. Back over to Mitchell. Mitchell will reverse direction to the far side. Oates stays up on the forecheck. Schultz feathering pass didn't go anywhere. Correa backhander just wide of the net. Good work by Oates, Correa, and Sikora on the forecheck. They were all up there and created a turnover. Soleil came back to get it turned away just in time to avoid that hit. Ozolinsh cleared it out. At center, Sikora batted it ahead. Onside and into the zone, Paulson. Paulson dumped it deeper. Sikora came up to help. Sikora's in the middle of a line change now as he stays out there. As soon as he gets to the bench, that side of the rink, he will. Wild, change it. Ducks back in behind the net. Fernandez back there to play it. Fernandez dumped it off. 9:40 here, Friday night. Right back here, game 4. A little hacking and whacking on Thomas. Thomas comes to the near side. Looking. Point, shot, Hamilton wide. Paulson will play it. Paulson has Jim Dowd move over on him. Thomas behind the net, doing battle with Bombardier. Paulson again. Puck control tonight. Pretty impressive on the part of the Ducks. They have had numerous times on shifts where they've gotten the puck in the offensive zone and have done this. Just refused to have the puck leave the zone. Like this. Held in again. Attempted clear. Bounced away off Krog. Comes back to Park. And he gets it out. Fans applauding the effort of the Mighty Ducks, who with a 4-0 lead are playing as though they were behind 1-0.
Anaheim's had a lot of memorable games in these playoffs. 3 overtimes against Detroit, 5 overtimes against Dallas. I talked to Mike LeClaire of the Ducks. I said, which is the most memorable for you so far? He said, Game 4 against Detroit. We beat them. We really beat them, the defending Cup champs. So far, that's his most memorable game.
And he's been able to say that a number of times. We really beat them. And he can say it again tonight. Marian Gaborik moves it up. Gaborik, there's Carney, who's been on him throughout this series. Literally, almost took his arm off that time. Wild, still trying to find a goal here. Zoltak up to the blue line, dropped it back to Schultz. Schultz sends it back for Bouchard. Bouchard for Gaborik, got blocked in behind the net. LeClaire came back to play it. Put it in the middle, and the Ducks will find it out. Carney just dished that one off. They'll gain the red, chip to the blue, and offside. Niedermeyer. Our Old Spice storyline here in Game 3. Paul Correa's got 2 goals. Second period's when he got 5 of the playoffs, and Jaguar 33 saves tonight. 96 without a goal against him in the series.
And our Old Spice replays, we go back to the first period. It could have been different for the Wild. Pierre-Marc Bouchard had a chance. Gaborik had a clean-cut breakaway. Wes Walz with a great chance here in the third period. So the Minnesota Wild have had their chances, but the story continues to be written by the man between the pipes for Anaheim, J.S. Giguère.
Stolen, centered, shot. What a save by Fernandez. Manny Fernandez on a turnover, and Sikora the chance. Sikora came in and almost got number 5.
Tell you what, if Manny's looking for something to build on, he's got it. He has been terrific since coming in relief of Dwayne Roloson.
And he played well in game 1.
Yeah.
He had a very solid game 1. Did not get the start in the last game and did not start here. But came in after 3 goals were scored in that second period with some 7 minutes left to play. And Ronning trying to find a little room, moves it in. Ronning down the slot, shot, save Giguère. Rebound Ozolinsh right to Ronning. Another chance, gets blocked out the center.
You know, remember in game 2 when Cliff Ronning tried to slap her from the point and broke his stick, and that sent Niedermayer away to a shorthanded goal. Cliff Ronning told me this morning that it's the first time all year that a stick was broken when he was shooting the puck.
I think the Ducks have a little.
They got some
pixie dust going there.
Yeah.
Back around for the centering pass. Paulson had it blocked by Cuba. Paulson and Cuba do battle along the wall. Still loose over there. West Wall dug it out, centering for Ronning. Ronning dumped it ahead for Schultz. Schultz giving chase into the zone, beaten to it, cleared out Rucci. Steve Thomas. Thomas the high flip. Change still underway here for the Wild. Bad pass. Hendrickson put it right on Thomas's stick and fed it up ice. Everybody changing, but a dipsy doodle. Backhander Leclaire got blocked. Schultz got it in his skates and blocked it. 6:40 left here in the third period. Laxonen wound up, moves it in. Laxonen centered. Turnaround chance. Picked off the skate. Puey's shot. Didn't get much on it. Hit off the heel of the stick. At the line, Mitchell had it. Niedermayer takes it away. Niedermayer moves it in. Back to Leclaire. Leclaire for Niedermayer. Susan, a couple of whacks at it. Still loose near side. Susan batted it away to the point, but not out. Held in momentarily. Mitchell gets it back. Can't connect on the far side. Puey couldn't handle. Wisniewski comes back for the Ducks. Wisniewski takes it into the corner. Centering pass there. Giguère is going to cover that one up. The Ducks on the verge of going up 3-0 in this series. Stanley Cup playoffs on ESPN, presented by.
And it's not as if J.S. Giguère isn't familiar with 200-plus minutes of shutout hockey. 237 minutes in the regular season he did. Third longest in regular season history. He's up to 207. Remember, regulation games are 60 minutes long. We're talking 3+ games.
Those records go back to 1949-1950 for the 2 goaltenders who had longer streaks. Bill Bernan and Turk Broda were the goaltenders who did it. And Giguère, third in that department for regular season. Back the near side. Susan's shot blocked by Correa. And Paul Correa gets the puck and clears it out. Sikora won the battle. Cuba made him pay for it, but Sikora got up there. Chipped up off the far side dasher, not out of the zone again. And whistled. Sikora had a little hand pass on that one. 5:26 to go, third period. The Ducks 4, the Wild nothing.
ESPN.
Bud Light Finals fact: in conference finals, there have not been sweeps since '92. Pittsburgh did it against Boston, Chicago against Edmonton. This conference final could be a sweep. We know it won't happen in the East because it's tied at 1-1. The Devils Ottawa, but here a victory by the Ducks tonight, and they will be up 3-0 with a chance to conclude the series on Friday, having already swept Detroit. That one's going to be whistled on the offside.
Well, it's too bad this night has not gone better for Jacques Lemaire, because he has done something in coaching this game that no man has ever done. He has become the first man to appear in 100 or more playoff games as a player and a head coach. Coached in Montreal, coached in New Jersey, coached here obviously in Minnesota. You add them up, and this is his 100th game in the playoffs behind the bench.
Congratulations to Jacques Lemaire. 11 Stanley Cups, 8 as a player, 2 in the front office with the Canadiens, and 1 as coach with the New Jersey Devils. He is an Adams finalist this year for Coach of the Year. In, maybe, drop pass, Gaborik, no, again, did not get through. Ruslan Saleh is back to the play, and the puck hit him. And a whistle and a penalty at center. Gaborik and Niedermeyer. That's Niedermeyer getting up.
And Gaborik is the man that's going to go off. Oh, it's getting a little nasty here now. Starting to boil over. Just coming to a little simmering roll. We're not at the boiling over point yet, but the right people are out there. Matt Johnson for Minnesota. See Gaborik on the back check. Little cross check to the small of the back of Rob Niedermeyer after he had passed.
Minnesota, 2 minutes for cross-checking.
Frustration of Marian Gaborik. Rob Niedermeyer has done a really good job on him.
Doc Lemaire had an interesting comment about Gaborik this morning. Talking to Jockey, he said, what I'm going to try and do with Gaborik is, I've told him at a meeting with him, and now I'm saying publicly, he's not our leader. He is not the guy who's going to score all the goals. He's not our go-to guy. And Bill and I, we talked about that after. Clearly what Doc Lemaire was trying to do is take the pressure off Gaborik to try and free him up a little bit.
Yeah.
Because he feels as though he's got to do everything for this team.
And I think great players will continue to be great players regardless of what their coach says as far as their status. John was trying to tell him, we've got other guys that can get it done. Don't think you're the only guy that has to get it done.
He's in the box. He goes for the cross-checking call. 15-17, second power play opportunity of the game now for the Ducks with 4:34 left to go. They'll look again. Find a way on the power play. Cheesecom took it behind the net. Ducks will get it in the zone and get it set up. Wild challenging the puck. Cheesecom tried to dump it down low. Zuzan cleared it up. Ozolinsh held it in. Boy, it is tough to get the puck out of the end here. Cheesecom taking finally Zuzan and he tried to pass and lost it, but it'll come out of the zone anyway. Darby Hendrickson. Giguère goes back to get it. Power play's got a minute 22 left to go on it. Avalon will start it up. Korea's looking for a hat trick, keep in mind. Set around the boards for Jason Krog. Guys who don't get a lot of power play time necessarily. When you're up 4-0 third period with 4 minutes left to go, they get on the ice for a little power play effort. Avalon got Leclerc in the middle on this power play. Krog's working behind the net. Pushed away in the corners. Centering past Mitchell, blocks it, not out. Now it's Ozolinsh.
An opportunity for Mike Babcock to really throw an offensive bone the way of some guys that are good defensive players like Dan Bilesman and Jason Krog.
Boy, he's hollering at the bench now, and his assistant coaches are pulling him back. He does not like the fact Jacques Lemaire and the Wild have tried to heat it up here physically tonight. He's got a pretty good thing going with Lemaire. Tomorrow night, ABC Sports will be back in L.A. Game 6 between the Spurs and Lakers. Tim Duncan, San Antonio with a chance to close out Shaq Kobe in L.A. The Western Semifinal Series 3-2 San Antonio. Thursday night, live at 8 Eastern. ABC Sports Championship TV will have it. That is as fired up as we've seen Babcock in the playoffs. He's a very under-control, disciplined guy.
And you know what he did? He just pulled Paul Kariya off the ice.
Slashing call on Dupuis, 16:30. A two-man advantage now for the Ducks. Avalon moved it in. Got whistled. He was offside. Two-man advantage, 39 seconds left on the first penalty. So the slashing call that came while they were in the advantage on Dupuis as he joins Gaborik in the box.
There was the whack on Sandis Ozolinsh. Stung him. And that's why Mike Babcock reacted the way he did. And he doesn't want his guys getting beat up and getting slashed and hurt and injured here when they're about to win a game.
They're going to get a power play goal. You'd think now might be the time. Get a two-man advantage here. Another 22 seconds left to go in the two-man. Niedermeyer and Leclerc set up down low. They keep moving it in, Shot Soleil, save made. Sports Center's coming up, all the day's activities and lots of it. Baseball, basketball, football, and whatever else has gone on. Sports Center after our game.
But Paul Kariya is not a big guy. I really think Mike Babcock pulled him off of this 5-on-3. Remember, Kariya's got a chance for a hat trick, and you know, quality coaches always try to give quality guys a chance to go for the hat trick. But the way the Wild are swinging the lumber, I don't think he wants Paul Kariya in the way of one of the line drive swings.
Better to have him safe than a 3-goal scorer in this game when you're up 4-0. 11 seconds left on the two-man advantage. Ozolinsh a blast. Save made. Rebound save. Rebound loose. Side of the net. Dug out to the point to Ozolinsh. Ozolinsh in. Shot. Save made. Manny Fernandez. Mateus. Fernandez has given up 1 goal, but he came on with no warm-up, and the goal came almost immediately. Since then, he's been special in net.
Gary, you mentioned the other night that Manny Fernandez had traveled to Montreal the other day to see his dad before he went in for triple bypass that was supposed to happen the next day. This has been postponed 3 times now, Manny Fernandez told us this morning. He said his dad is now supposed to go in for his surgery on Friday morning. He's still in the hospital, but they've just kept, for multiple reasons, postponing the surgery.
Yep. His mother's told him now that she's not going to let him know when the surgery happens until it's done. Into the corner, Thomas came back to get it. Power play now, a 1-man advantage. 1:07 left to go on the 1-man. Taken away by Gaborik, who's come out of the box, and it'll be cleared. We're down to 2:27 left to go. Keep in mind, while all this is going on, Jaguar is watching this game, trying to become the first man since Frank McCool to have 3 consecutive shutouts here. Playoff season, and all this power play time the Ducks are getting is helping that out, because he's just standing back there watching. Thomas couldn't handle that one. Comes up to the point. 35 left. Ozolinsh couldn't hold it in. And they've got to get back on side. Sandis Ozolinsh with it. 1:59 left to go. Up the near side. Thomas drops it off. Into the zone. Ruchin makes the turn. Steve Ruchin back on top to Ozolinsh. Back to Ruchin. Power play still underway here. Shot blocked. Sauer's chance ends up going into the netting. Coming back from a 0-3 deficit in Stanley Cup history is the rarest of rare.
It has only happened twice. The last time 28 years ago when the New York Islanders did it, they fell behind 3-0 to the Pittsburgh Penguins, then won that series. And then in 1942, Toronto did it against the Detroit Red Wings.
The Wild is just, how about we just score a goal? That would be nice.
Yeah, that would be really nice. And what is I'm sure frustrating for the Wild and their fans is they were Davids in the first 2 series against a couple of Goliaths, just as the Anaheim Mighty Ducks were. They slayed the Goliaths, but now it's David against David, and they're getting crushed.
They had a great offense. They were leading all playoff teams in offense going through that first 2 series. Their power play was on fire. Gaborik, leading scorer among the playoff players, still is. Played back by Niedermayer. Fans on their feet as it closes in on 1 minute left to go in the 3rd. And the Anaheim Mighty Ducks just that much shy of going up 3-0. SportsCenter's coming up. They're back up off the bench. That will be whistled as it ended up on the Anaheim bench. The towels being waved.
And they're not towels of surrender.
Friday night, we will be back here on ESPN. Game 4, and a chance for Anaheim to move to the Stanley Cup Finals. Did you ever think you would say it or hear it? No matter how much of a Duck fan you may be. That one moved behind the net. 40 seconds left to go, and Jaguar will have 3 consecutive shutouts. Brought back onto the point. Kuba, chance, deflected wide. Mitchell. Behind the net, Burnett. 28 seconds left to go. Penalty coming, a cross check. Mitchell.
Dan Bilesma really hit Willie Mitchell hard on the boards. Looked like a clean hit, and Mitchell came off the wall and cross-checked him right in the back. So Big Willie, I think, is gone. Pretty well accusing Dan Bilesma of having hit him in the back, too. Bilesma hit him from behind, but he was close enough to the boards that I don't think it should have been called a boarding penalty.
Well, let's recap it. Korea's got 2 goals. Ruchin, Chistov have the others. Oates, Sikora have 2 assists each in this game for the Ducks. Jaguar looking for the 3rd consecutive shutout. He'd be the 6th NHL goaltender in playoff history to have 3 consecutive shutouts. Dumped into the corner. Cleared up the near side boards. Yelled in. Ruchin reached in. Could not get to it. The most shutouts in a playoff year, Dominic Hasek had 6 in 2002. Jaguar will join 13 others to have 4 in a playoff year, and he's still got a game and another series in all likelihood to go. expand our sheet on J.S. Jaguar for the Friday night.
You would have to really stand there and talk to the man to realize and to understand what we mean when we say he is unfazed by all of this. He really is. He focuses on one save at a time, 1 minute at a time. He stays in the present.
Final save, final score. Ducks 4, Wild nothing.
He joins Frank McCool. Wonder where Frank is today.
Smiling. Somewhere smiling. So there's your final. The Ducks 4, the Wild nothing. A 3-0 lead in this series for the Ducks. The Wild have not scored a goal in 3 games. Tomorrow night, 7 Eastern, ESPN Game 3, Ottawa, New Jersey, tied at 1 apiece. ESPN News tonight, post-game press conference coverage for this one. This has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports. For more, log on to ESPN.com. For Brian Engel, Bill Clement, I'm Gary Thorne. Sports Center's next. Thanks for joining us. Ducks win.